As you know, we don't do fucking breaks. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's how it is. So, begin. Wait. Yeah, take the picture. It's cool. His lordship is taking a picture. So this is Darkus is taking a picture of you. Technology, eh? I don't know. You in the 01? 61. Can you put your hands in the air? Who wants to do that? Hey! Brilliant. Please, people, clap, keep clapping. Nihal, you've got everybody. Kevin Christian Blair, Darkus, you've got everybody here. Emily Kent up in the place. Louis, I don't even know. Nihal here. Keep going. Keep clapping. Manny, where are you, man? Manchester, where are you? What? Don't be getting up to go. We don't want no weaklings up in this place. Keep it going. Keep it going. Enter. Come through. Panel. Yes. That's how we move. That is how we move. That's how we move. Kamali. Oh. Kamali. Oh. Jeez. Listen, people, you're in for a treat. I'm telling you, it's not even a joke. We're hardcore up in this place. Come on. Yeah, coming up here. Come on. No, you're a big boss. Come on. Let's keep it going. Listen. Class. Okay, listen. We're going to really move swiftly onwards. I'm going to read you out the title. Some of the people that are at the back, oi, hush, and come down the front. This is how it goes. Quick. Come down the front. There's a couple of places here. Come on. If you mean it, come. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry to be a bossy boots. You'll thank me later. Come on. That's it. Yeah. Come on. Listen. Oi, the two people. Yeah, here you go. I know what's going on. All right. Fine. Okay. We change. We move. Brilliant. I call it Creating Breakers. It's actually Creative Breakers is the title. And I know it because it took us ages to think of that title. Okay, this is quite an interesting one. This should be a lot closer to home for everybody in this audience because this panel deals a lot with how you convert no's into yeses, okay? Now that doesn't sound like much, but as time goes on, you will understand. All right, here we go. So each speaker has made massive strides into the industry. What is the panel viewpoint on how to make these leaps and what advice can be shared to help others, yourselves, build on their steps to success? What drives you? What's your hustle? What scares you? What inspires you in today's music business? First of all, I'm going to ask each person to introduce themselves and then just give a few lines about what they do. Starting here. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kamali Scott Jones. I'm an A&R manager at Harlequin Records. I also look after Robert Bruce, who is on Breakfast at Capital Extra. I am a co-founder of the Black Music Coalition, which is an organisation,
Rewind.
we were formed in 2020 to combat anti-black racism within the music industry, mostly on behalf of execs. I'm also a co-founder of The Debrief, which is for black women and women of colour in the music industry, just a safe space, networking, platform. Yeah, I think that's it. I always forget something, but...
It'll come. We've got time.
Thanks for having me. And talk about, so there's always one.
Hi guys. Hello, are we here? Okay, cool. My name is Matilda, otherwise known as Wow, my mic is really...
Okay. okay, we're good, we're
I call that one the rudimental mic. Did you notice, by the way, when the guy was talking and he was talking about, oh, we dropped and it was all cool and everything. Just as he said that, the mic cut and I was like, that's rudimental right there. Anyway, so yeah.
My name is Priscilla, of Wise on Silly or Tills or Tilly Tills.
Oi, oi.
I am a radio presenter at High Radio. I'm also an executive content creator. I've been told to say that now.
Come on.
And I'm also like freelance A&R, and I do some work with Creating Vision. I'm also now an artist manager. Yeah, and I'm just all around vibes, just having a good time. Here in Money. Oh, also I'm repping Money in London. Period.
Oi, oi.
My name's Megan Burns. I'm an artist manager at Tone Artists. I look after mostly metal and rock acts. I also have an independent record label via In Grooves, and I'm a member of the MMF.
Hi everyone, I'm Casey Locke, music video director from Manchester, founding member of Swords and Eagles, award-winning independent production company based in Manchester. I'm just here to try and give some advice and, help people learn from my mistakes.
Hi everyone, my name's Andy Daniel. I'm a senior A&R manager at Parlophone and also run our dance and electronic label called FF Horror.
Boom. Okay, I'm gonna start. Oh yeah, come take seats. Let's keep it moving. Okay, I'm gonna start with a little bit of an orthodox question. Oh, by the way, with my panels, I don't do the questions at the end. What I do is I just point at a person, right? If I point at you, you've got to have a question ready. I know I'm different, innit? See my steez, innit? Come on. Anyway, yeah, man. All right. Okay, so first question, right, is who said no to you, how many times, and what effect did that have on you? I'm going to start at the end of the table.
Do you know what? I was looking at some of the kind of notes on the way up, and I didn't have an answer to this right off the bat.
That's why I went for you.
Great. I mean, my journey in all this was very much, I was just surrounding myself with stuff and just kind of the next step kind of just fell a little bit. There was never a plan or intention. It's just like I was just surrounding myself with music and culture, and through that something popped up and then popped up and popped up. That's kind of how it worked. So it wasn't really like I was shooting for something and then had knockbacks. I wasn't shooting for anything. I was just doing my thing.
Casey, look.
I think that's quite similar in some ways to me, as opposed to just being knocked back a million times and just cracking on. I think, being a creative and trying to do something on your own, trying to do 100 jobs at once, it can be quite hard to think. Trying to get work in the, off record labels and trying to get commissioned off artists and get pushed back because you don't have a showreel portfolio. Sometimes you just got to believe in yourself and trust your heart and don't say no for an answer, and just be obsessed with working as hard as you can.
Okay, Megan.
Yeah. I guess it's more like who hasn't said no.
I love this. Go on. Come on.
Yeah. I think a lot of my work is just banging on doors. It's like just being persistent. That's why it's so important to be passionate about the artists that you work with, because there are a lot of knockbacks. There's lots of situations that are beyond your control. There's lots of, labels might lead you up the garden path for like conversations for months.
Freeze for that. No, you're going to keep talking. An example.
An example?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people here will be like, what does she mean? Come on.
Okay, so there's an artist that I work with who are very critically acclaimed. They've been going for quite a while now, and we were talking to a major record label about signing them for their next album. This conversation went on for, I think, about 4 months at the time it was like the pandemic, so everything was done over Zoom. It wasn't like face-to-face meetings. but I must have had like a call a week for about 4 months or something like that.
Dangerous.
It was, yeah. I kept saying, like, if you're not interested, just say, like,
Let
it's
us
absolutely
know.
fine.
Did all of that.
Yeah. And then it went to the New York office, and the New York office came back, and they wanted more information, and then it's that whole thing where it's like, we need to hear more music. And it's like, well,
It's the kiss of death, right?
Yeah.
We need to hear two things, right? We need to hear more music is one, and the other one is, when can I see them live?
yeah.
When you hear that, run. Okay, go.
Yeah, so yeah, it didn't end up happening because they didn't feel like the band had enough presence in the States and it would take too long. And because of the pandemic, they didn't know what the touring industry was going to look like afterwards. So it was too much of a gamble. But yeah, it was a bit exhausting, and I think it was like the band were quite upset because it seemed promising, but then it just didn't happen.
And by the way, just to go into that a bit, what was your B plan? Because you, as a manager, you're not even a B plan. You're B, C, D, E, G, everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, we already had a record label that was super keen to take them on. It was an independent label. So when the major deal fell through, we did have a backup that was ready to go.
Yeah.
So it all worked out. Well, that's another story.
There's more there. Okay. Tilly Tills, the great. Let's go.
So, fun fact, some of you might know or might not know, I host this talent hunt situation with Pirate Radio where we go around to schools searching for talent. And with that, it is not easy. I'll tell you that for free. We actually had a school, which kind of upset me because that's a school that I went to and I've done many talks in and stuff. We were about to film an episode and it was crazy. The kids were ready to go. Next thing you know, police, everyone had to kind of scatter in the situation. And then we had a phone call with the head teacher the next day. We were on the phone for about an hour just going back and forth because all these kids are like, we really want you to do this. And we got the head teacher threatening us like, if this episode ever comes out, we're taking you to court, you're going to go to jail, all of that stuff. It was all long. So we're like, okay, cool. Now what do we do? We're going to go to town on a Saturday. They're not in their uniforms. So the kids pulled up to town and we just shot an episode there.
Did it anyway. So you found your way around.
Find a way. There's always a way. Find a way.
That's the thing, right? So we've had for you two, it's been much more about, okay, no matter what comes, you keep going kind of thing. For you, Megan, it's a lot more, okay, having the B plan ready, pursuing the A as far as you can. For you, it's like, listen, whatever comes, we're just going to make it happen. Can't work this way, it's going to work that way. And for the Empress Kamali, let's go.
I would say, as a general rule of thumb, don't take the no's as a no.
Ooh, I like this.
And that doesn't mean like be persistent, but if someone doesn't give you a job or doesn't give you the opportunity, it's not always appropriate to keep banging on their particular door.
True.
But it's a mixture of everything that everyone's already said. But my first no was I was 17 and I was trying to just get a job, just, little pocket change and flex and whatever. And I just could not get a job. And I remember me and my best friend walked into Topshop with our CVs. Yeah. She went in first. And they were like, yeah, great, we'll take the CV. Fantastic, we'll be in touch. And I went in, gave them mine. And they were like, oh, like, we're not really looking for anyone right now. And I was like...
What was it? Hold on. What was the time difference?
I mean, less than 5 minutes.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but it was cool. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't desperate to do retail, yeah? But obviously I was thinking about the 40% discount that you get. So anyway... I'm
slightly triggered right now, but go on.
Yeah, no, it was a little triggering at the time. Yeah. And yeah, it was frustrating. And I felt like, well, like, what's wrong with me? Like, and why is it just... Why couldn't I just get we'll call you, we'll be in touch. Something. And then you get silence. That's what you expect, but whatever. Anyway, I felt like I was annoyed for a few hours, cracked on, kept on giving my CV out, and I ended up getting a job in a gym and spa. And again, it was just like, it was cool. It paid okay at the time, and I did that all through uni, and I didn't, you kind of have the gift of hindsight. And when I look back, if I had worked in retail, it wouldn't have sort of prepped me for the life that I've got now. And so in a gym, I had it was random people that came in. It was a local, I'm from West London, so it was in West London. So there was a mixture of people. There was like TV presenters. Jason Donovan used to come in for a swim. And it's where I met AJ Tracy properly when he was probably, I don't know, teenager, before he was AJ Tracy. And it just meant that I had such a skill. I can talk to anyone. Like, there's no one on earth I feel like I couldn't hold a conversation with. And I think at the time, obviously, getting that no, for example, when you're trying to get a job and whatever the opportunity is, it's like you don't know or you can't see where that no is steering you towards. And sometimes it's not about getting worked up about what you're not getting and just knowing that something better and more for you is on the way. And so a few years later, I was out and AJ was like, oh, like, do you remember me? And I was like, bro, like, you're AJ Tracy. Like, what do you mean, do I remember you? And there's lots of kind of similar things like that where, I think you can look back and go, oh shit, if I had done that or I had got that job or, it was all yeses, I wouldn't have learned anything. I actually wouldn't have been on the path that I'm meant to be on. And so, I think that's important. Sometimes the no's are just like, that's not for you. And that's powerful in itself, and not to get panicked in the short term, because it is, if you've got bills to pay, mouths to feed, it's like hard, but there's always something around the corner, and you just have to keep hustling and, working around the no's rather than giving up.
Working around the no's. So on that, are the best lessons the hardest learnt? I'm going to start this way and then go down this time. Are the best lessons the hardest learnt? An example is always a good one, but go.
I guess so. That just makes it sound like really brutal and uninspiring though, doesn't it? But I do think that like, it's more so doing it and making mistakes and not being afraid to do that.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, it's quite hard in the generation that we're in now. Everything's like super documented. There's Instagram where kind of you feel like you're in natural competition with your peers. It's like, oh shit, they're doing that already, we're the same age or they're a bit younger than me. And, I think that there's merit in trying not to get caught up in that too much and putting your blinkers on and just doing it. And, you can only learn those lessons from doing those things. I wouldn't say they're always hard lessons, but a lot of them are. The ones that you remember the most are probably the hardest, I would say.
Okay.
That was literally what I was about to say. Like, literally, the best lessons, like the hardest situations and stuff that you go through, that's where you when you come out on the other side, that's when you really see everything in hindsight, really. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I feel like, just don't take no for an answer. I'm known for being stubborn anyway, so listen, if someone says no, I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna prove, you're gonna come back to me, but now yesterday's price won't be today's price, or tomorrow's price. How about that,
I have to say, of all the memes going, please clap for her, because that was great, But honestly, of so many of the memes, when a meme really resonates with you, right? Yesterday's price is not today's price is one of the ones, when it came, I was just like, yes! So, by the way, you, with the top there, you. I know, you're looking at me thinking, he can't be. You're going to ask the first question, not you, behind you. It's you. They just put your hand up, it's her. You're asking the first question, okay? So you be ready. And then after that, I'm coming to someone here? You want to do it? Okay, you're going to come next. Okay? So, all right, let's go.
My hardest lesson was actually what got me into management in the first place. Previous to working as a manager, I was an artist myself. We were signed to a major label, and I was, I think, 18 at the time when we got signed, and I got caught up in all the sort of like, oh my God, this is like my dream come true, like, it's the best thing ever. And I never really thought to look into the business angle of things.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think I ever read my contract. I kind of just trusted like the lawyers, the management, or that kind of thing.
And let's be real about the lawyers.
Yeah. Well,
come on now. If you've got a lawyer, always remember, best piece of advice I ever heard about a lawyer was at a seminar. Jazzy B said, okay, lawyers, he said, great, they're really, really good. Make sure if you've got a lawyer that you've got another lawyer watching that lawyer. Take it for free. Go.
Yeah, well, lawyers only make money when there's trouble. So.
What a strange profession. Anyway, sorry, go.
Yeah, and so I think, that didn't end great, my career as this, I don't know what I was expecting, but, but because of that, I kind of took a view now with my artists that I never want that to happen to them.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very artist focused, and I think that having that perspective helps me out quite a lot. Because, so.
Once again, are the best lessons the hardest learnt? Over to you, sir.
Yes, they definitely are.
Yeah,
I think rather than giving particular examples, I'm probably just going to give a bit of a generalisation to how I approach things and how I think it's got me to where I am. So I think for me, you can only learn lessons if you step outside your comfort zone. So I feel like for me, if I just wanted to be a video director and just kind of play it easy and just do everything that felt safe and felt comfortable, I don't think I'll be where I am now. I think for me it's like every single job I do, from the video that came out 2 days ago to the one that came out 3 years ago, I've always put myself in a position where I was scared, where I didn't know if it was going to go right or wrong, and just pushing yourself into those territories where you could fuck up. But it's just the passion and love you have for what you do, you always push through and find a way through. So I think it's in them moments, no matter what career you're in or whatever part of the creative industry you're in, it's those moments that help you grow. So that's what you learn from, is yourself and how far you can push yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
I agree. I mean, look, every success I've ever had is built on failure. Yeah. Every single failure teaches me something that I then apply moving forward, and that's constant. That's my entire life. So every success is built on the bricks of failure.
And just as a quick antidote to that, some of your proudest moments coming from this side to this side, some of your proudest moments, just one or two.
In what way?
Career-wise.
The fact that I get to have a job that lets me support my passion. That's my proudest thing. I get to do what I love. I'm incredibly grateful every day.
Yeah.
I think my proudest thing is I'm in a position now where I've built a family of all my friends, and we all work together and create the best shit in the world.
Nice.
And we love it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm proud of, is I can support and bring my friends through on my journey and create a family out of this. It's not a solo thing, it's a team, it's a family effort. That's what I'm proud of.
Nice one, Casey. Thanks.
I think my proudest moment was probably being a part of the Accelerator Program, just because I met so many people, and it's sort of I've always suffered from imposter syndrome, so to sort of have that validation that I was on the right track.
By the way, which is a common thing that managers suffer from, right? And that's me included. I'm very fortunate. Okay, so the MMF, who here knows what the MMF is? Who here doesn't know what the MMF is? So we should probably explain. So the MMF, right, stands for Music Managers Forum, right? Over 1,200 managers from the UK are part of the MMF. And what it involves is there's meetings every few weeks. Some of them are online. Some of them, sometimes they're in person. And these meetings are managers discussing with other managers just the state of the musical nation. Because a lot of the time, being a manager is a very solo pursuit. But what we've all worked out, being as part of I'm vice chair of the MMF, right? So what we've all worked out is if we talk to each other, when we're presenting to government and stuff like that, actually we're more like a fist than a finger. Do you know what I mean? That's basically it. So the Accelerator Program is... and they're one of the sponsors for here, by the way. The Accelerator Program is a thing that's put together. You won't believe this, but I'm going to tell you it. You can get up to...
14,000, is it?
14,000 quid, okay? For a year, okay? That gets given to you as a manager. Now, singers, don't be thinking you can creep, right? This is for managers, specifically, yeah? And you can explain a little about it, actually. Go for it, Accelerator.
Yeah, I feel like my mind's gone blank now. I've like hyped it up. It's brilliant. I'll say that to start it. But yeah, it's basically a group of 20 managers from across the UK, and it's a program of mentoring and seminars and conferences. And it's just learning. I mean, you know, as a manager, you think that you know everything, but then when I joined the Accelerator course, I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And it's like, you know, there's insights into like publishing that I didn't really know, and visas, touring, like it covers every single aspect, and I found it like one of the most helpful things I've ever done. It was incredible. So
by the way, MMF has had its first #1, Eliza Rose, baddest of them all. Actually, the manager is one of the Accelerator people as well. Anyway, straight through to the great Tilly, go.
Stop it. This is one of my proudest moments. This is actually insane to me. I would say a lot of people in the crowd right now, I know, they're from the city, and I'll say, you know, quite a few of them have seen my journey as well. So to be here is a bit surreal for me. I can't even lie. So yeah, this is one of my proudest. And also, I got here through doing what I love. It's like, what? It doesn't feel like work, but I'm working. So yeah, I'll say this is definitely one of my proudest moments.
Oh, good. We'll take that.
I would probably say, in terms of A&R, it's when an artist that I'm working with gets on stage, or like maybe it's a festival, maybe it's a more intimate show, and I can see the crowd react to them in the same way that I do, and I can see them feel what I feel, and as A&Rs, like, you're just kind of going on gut instinct and you know, hoping that it all works out. And so, yeah, you have those really special moments, like your artist's first show or their first festival, and seeing the crowd do it, and you kind of feel like, oh shit, I was right. You know what I mean? And I can kind of...
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that just never gets old. I think that's what probably is the main, like, thing that keeps me going. Because, yeah, it's a really special moment, and that's the point of our job. So, yeah, I would say that.
And you've got so many people within your job, and this is, again, something that Nahal was talking about earlier. You've got so many people within your job that, okay, you've got people that are on your side, and then you've got people that aren't on your side, right? And the people that aren't on your side, you know, right? You've got this telepathy going on where they're doing everything right. They might be smiling at you, saying your act is wonderful, blah, blah, blah. But you walk out of that room and you're like, no. I know that you are secretly coming for me, right? So the validation happens, as you said, on the stage, with the act, with the audience. You look at the audience is singing back, and boom.
Yeah.
Has that happened a lot?
I've still got loads more to do, but it has. Even this summer, I look after an artist called Manelia.
Come on.
And
UK R&B.
Yeah, UK R&B artist.
Just R&B. Don't even say UK.
No,
Come
but she is, and I actually think the term is problematic. But
it is.
I do like to make the distinction, because I think, you know, as British people, we do something different, and I think it's really important to bring that in. I think where UK R&B has maybe not gone stratospheric yet is because we're not being British enough in our approach.
But everybody loves it.
No, they love it, but they don't support it. It's like a passive thing. You know, like there's someone, or even Stormzy's latest drop, and he's like, oh, you lot are so used to me being lit that it's normal.
Yeah.
So no one claps me anymore, because it's just like, oh yeah, like, it's
Stormy,
cool.
yeah.
But anyway, that's a different panel. But Manelia, I've been developing her for about a year and a half, 2 years now.
Manelia.
Yeah, she's fantastic, genuinely. And I signed her during 2020, so there was no live, there was no space for a young artist to really, you know, be out in the world and react and have that audience reaction. And so she did Wireless this year. It was wasn't her first. She did Glastonbury as well, but Wireless was her first slot as, you know, her own show. And it was just so incredible to see. It was like overwhelming. It was like everyone was singing every word and just super engaged. And yeah, for someone who's not really had that and has just been, you know, as a young artist, I'm not sure how many artists are in the room, but when it's just you and, you know, your instrument or your laptop, and you don't get that feedback, and you're just hoping that it's the right move. But yeah, that was really special. And to see that after 2 years as well, I think was like, for me, I was like, wow, like we're, you know, in a better place than I even
Did you
thought.
get, my question is, did you get teary?
I always get teary.
Me too.
I always do.
I always get teary too.
Yeah. If you ask me the right question today, I will tear up. With it's like a weird passion, like it almost chokes me. I can't explain it, it's very dramatic, but if I'm sometimes talking to artists and like trying to sign them or whatever, like it comes up and I think, God, like chill.
Please. Yeah, I know.
But yeah, definitely always teary-eyed, always goosebumps, the whole thing, all the cliches, yes.
Yeah. We're coming for your question. No. It's her question first. Yeah, go. Motivational no. Okay. So your most motivational no. This is a good question. Your most motivational no. Have you got one?
I'm still kind of struggling to think of a singular one, but like everything that doesn't work, I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, how do I kind of figure it out and get the result I want, regardless of kind of the situation? Do you know what I mean? It's like I've always got to find the solution. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm always, regardless of any setbacks, whatever, I'm just like, okay, whatever, next. How do I move on anyway? Like, I'm sorry, I'm struggling to think of a singular thing, but like my whole mentality is like, okay, fine, that didn't work out how I planned, but what do I learn from it and how do I apply that to get what I wanted?
Yours is almost, it's actually quite tactical, as in you almost don't let it in. You're very much
100%.
Yeah, you can see it by his answers, right? His whole thing is like, you cannot enter, you cannot pass go, you cannot.
I don't want to dwell on anything that was like if you dwell on the nose, then just give up. Not give up, you know what I mean? But like, I've got to kind of go, well, fuck it, next.
Yeah. Okay, next is good. All right, because I really want to get loads in. Go. Give me one. Best one. What kind of level of experience do you expect from an artist? Got it. Okay, what kind of level of experience do you expect from an artist? Let's go for Kamala here.
It completely depends, like where we meet you and also where the A&R works. If you work at a major label, our kind of criteria, I guess, is a little bit can be a little bit different from like an indie or a distribution company. So I think we don't really have like a set list of rules, but you want to, you know, it's either completely raw talent, you've never dropped a song in your life, but we just feel you and what you offer, or it might be that you're already making strides in kind of your local area or town or city, and you're part of a wider culture, and we can see that you're kind of next up. There's different levels, but I guess ultimately, you know, we're always looking for the total package. You want someone that has star power, that can engage a crowd, can hopefully write a good song, but that's not essential if that's not your thing. Can get songwriters for that, which are an important part of the process. And just basically know how to, I would say for me, I'm sure everyone will have different answers, but the most important thing, regardless of experiences, I would like an artist to know who they want to be now. And even if that changes in a few years' time, 5 years' time, or whatever, I don't want to sign you and you tell me that you're this, and then when I sign you, you go, oh, but no, I don't want to be that. You're making me into something that I didn't want to be. But that only happens if you're not certain in who you are yet. And obviously as young people, that's really difficult. But it's just about, you know, being clear in your direction so that we can help you drive your car, so to speak, rather than you going, oh no, you drive, I'm scared. Like, we want to make sure that we're following you rather than we're leading you. So I think just, that's the main thing I would say to any artist at any stage. Just really like drill down on who it is that you want to be, who you're closest to, who already exists, like the biggest artists, the smallest ones, and take a little piece of each and go, that's kind of what I want to be to people, and build your artistry around that. I would say, I hope that makes sense.
Good answer. Casey Locke, whether thinking outside of the box or trusting your instinct is something that you as a leader in your field have had to learn, or is it something that was already in there?
What, trusting and believing in yourself?
I guess, but the thing, it's this thing of, you've almost, again, very similar, two of you at the end, you've very much got this whole thing about, okay, next, what's next, what's next? But a lot of, you know, what you've been talking about has been almost like an instinct for something, right? An instinct and then going, okay, I'm going this way. Has that always been with you? Or is it like literally you were working and just worked when actually from this work, I've learned how to do that? Was it natural to you or was it something that was learnt?
Yeah, I think the instinct of me knowing that I've got a direction where I want to be, like knowing inside me, saying like, I'm going to get there whether you tell me, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Inside me, I know where I need to go. So I think I've had that from very, very early on, from the point of picking up a camera when I was in high school and going, I'm dyslexic, I've got crap grades, but playing with cameras is something that I want to do. And I think from that point, from literally being in school, I've just not put it down since then. Because
many of us are dyslexic, because I am. Many of us are. Yeah, you are. How many actually on this panel are dyslexic? I will raise my hand. The dyslexic crew.
But it doesn't mean anything. It just means you struggle with, like, you know.
With words. Yeah.
I think being a director,
Yeah.
words are usually the first thing I have to do and give to people to try and sell my ideas.
Yeah.
So it can be quite difficult to get your words on paper. So I think I'm quite visual. So I think I've always, from the start, just knew I wanted to be creative and pushing it forward. And I'm quite obsessed with details. So I didn't know everything straight away. It took me years to understand things. But that's what I was mentioning before. Every time I do a job or a project, I always put something in it that I want to learn. So it's quite, sometimes the wrong way of thinking sometimes, because I'm not pitching sometimes an idea that I've done. I'm pitching something that I want to do and something that I can learn and, you know, hopefully get commissioned and paid to learn something while I'm on the job, which sometimes is not the most conventional way of working. But I kind of thrive being under pressure and kind of thrive in being in environments where I don't know the answer, because it's all about working as a team and finding the answer for me.
Next question, by the way, it's a good answer. Next question, the new diversity and inclusion push, what does that mean to you? I'm going to start at this end.
I think it is really, really crucial that businesses like ours who represent young artists who, you know, are from a variety of backgrounds, cultures, styles, as like, I'll speak from a major label perspective, as a business, you can't be competitive if you only have one type of person working there. And if nothing else, that should be the driver as your bottom line. Like, you actually can't compete with other companies if you only had women or you only had men from a certain background or whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, I think it's important across the board.
Hold on 1 second, though.
Yeah.
But you're at Parlophone.
I am at Parlophone.
And Parlophone,
Yes.
as a manager, right? As a black manager, was literally
A no-go zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was driving a car, I was taking the roundabout around that building.
100%. And I think it was that way for a good while, even though there were, you know, some great black acts
Tiny
that,
Temper.
yeah, really flourished and spent their whole time, actually, you know, the majority of their career signed at Parlophone. But I think it's just really about all those companies just taking a long, hard look at themselves and going, like, yeah, are we competitive? Like, can we have this discussion and work out who we can bring in to make our company better, stronger, by being more diverse? And I do think that that was something that Parlophone actively took on and continues to, and I think that's a really positive thing. And I think you can kind of see that in a lot of the artists that we've signed. I don't think we would have been able to necessarily spot them, understand the value of those artists and bring them in if we didn't have, you know, a good mixture of characters on our team. So yeah, I think it's hugely important. Obviously, I'm part of the BMC, and that is our whole reason for being, in terms of advocating for black execs. And I think it's just crucial that, especially for us and the importance and economic value of black British music, we have to have people that are from that culture, and black execs in general, whatever the type of music it is. It's not just drill. You have alternative black artists too.
Come on.
But making sure that you've got people that understand that and can work it, and it's not, taking advantage, ripping young artists off from, generally lower socioeconomic backgrounds in this country, unfortunately, and kind of eat them up and spit them out. And so, it's super important to me. I think it's something that I'm really, I do it every day. I push for it every day. I think it's really important. I think it benefits everyone, and everyone has to understand that it's not just black people's problem or an Asian problem or a gay problem or a trans problem. It's for all of us to actually learn from each other and benefit off our differences and bring it all to the fore in the right way at the right time to, just see, the greatest artists of our generation and be understood and accepted, whatever their background is.
There you go.
Let's say you just shot a music video. What's the best promotion plan?
Okay, this will go to you first. So, if you've shot a music video, what is the best promotion? What's your name, sir? Aso is asking, what's the best promotion plan if you've shot a music video already?
Obviously, it's from the perspective of a video director, but I would say my opinion now will be from my perspective. I think if I've got to the point of shooting a music video, I should hopefully have a plan before I even shot it. Or I'd like to think about a plan of what I'm going to do with it.
Oh, wow, okay.
For me, I think if I'm engaging with a musician, I'm always asking what you're going to do with it when once I give you a video, what you're doing with it, because I want it to do as well.
Once it's shot, what are you going to do?
Once it's done, what you're doing with it, because
that's good.
I want it to do well.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, when working with labels, luckily they've got big departments dealing with that. But when I'm working with independent artists, which I do all the time, I do a lot of passion projects. The biggest thing talking about is what are you going to do with it. So
actually, some of the major label things that you've done. Let the audience know.
A video came out about 3 days ago. That was like a dance commercial, dance pop track. David Guetta and BB Rexha.
Yeah, something small, nothing too big. Yeah,
that's the big top one. Obviously, I've worked with Ed Sheeran, Stormzy, H, Meeks, AJ Tracy. I've worked with probably over 30 different artists the last 2 years, more.
There you go. I told you, people, this is what I mean. So can you imagine now if you had been going out now and had a sandwich? Look at what you would have missed. This is what I'm saying. There's no time. We can't. Eating is not for today. Let's go. Keep going.
But yeah, last year I shot 30 music videos. 30
music videos. Come on.
Not even joke videos, like big videos. You know what I mean?
No. That's what I'm saying.
And won awards all around the world with it. So I think, like I always say, any artist that I work with, it's what you do with it once it's done. You know what I mean? That's the main important thing. You should already have a plan. I can't say what the plan is.
Yeah.
But you need to have a plan, because obviously you could spend £1 million on a video, but if you've got no plan, it's just worthless. I'm just going to sit on YouTube and not get any views. So that's where the marketing and
all of
labels
that comes
and strategy comes in, which is not my forte. I'm just more involved in creating the assets. But even then, when I work with independent artists, I always try and help them to understand like what you're doing with it. Not exactly what platform it's going on, but what content are you making with it and around it. Is it behind the scenes? Is it photography? How much assets can you milk out of it?
And this is, by the way, this is in answer to your question, right? So you've gone, okay, promotional plan basically is what you've been asking about, right? And then, and what he's saying really, just to even translate it even more, is he does throw the question back to you. It's like, what's your plan for it, right? Artistically. So you're an artist, right? You've had a video made, right? You're about to have one made. So in a way, what he's going, great. You know what the concept for your video is going to be, right? But he's going, okay, cool. What's your plan for it? Now, I know for you, you're like, no, I'm asking you the question, but how it's gone right now is on the actual artists themselves. You've heard this message repeated again and again and again and again and again. It's this thing of almost you being able to look at your video, right, and almost chop it up into small segments and be able to comment on each of those segments. That is promotion. There is so much free stuff that you can do promotionally, right? That is stuff that brings eyes to what will then be your main piece of content, your main video. And in a way, it's that thing of don't ignore that stuff. Do you get it? Yeah?
Can I give one more bit of advice as well?
Yeah, man.
For example, I'm working with an artist at the moment who's probably one of the biggest rappers in the country, and we're trying to recreate a video of him in the studio making the song. It's just like, why don't you document it in the first place?
In the first place.
You know what I mean? So it's...
Listen,
even just documenting yourself in the studio could be important, could be valuable in 2 years' time. You know what I mean? So it's...
That's NFT straight away,
you know what I mean?
right? I mean, that whole thing about having a GoPro like up in the corner while you're doing it, that footage becomes invaluable. People at the time, they're like, whatever, but it's just you're in the studio, just turn it on. Because you know what? That time that you had, you know, your Ed Sheeran and you went, hold on, what's the harmony? Yeah, okay. That is a golden moment to a fan. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, very good point, by the way. Very good. We got questions. They're flying in now. Come. I'm coming to you next. Then I'm going there. Go.
Yes, this is on the topic of music video. So when it comes to, for example, working with the artist, at what point you like draw the line where it's like kind of the artist has their vision, but then you on the other side, like directing the video, at what point you guys figure out where we need to let go, at what point does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, like creatively, like, so for example, the artist...
Got it. Artist has their vision. You as the director, maybe you're like, hold on a minute, you're taking it this far, but let me deliver this.
Let's say you're shooting one scene maybe where the artist has gotten this hour and this hour is done. And you'll maybe turn around and maybe this will work better for the video.
This is quite interesting because you know every one of the people on this panel can answer that. But yeah, let's go.
So would you use that example of when you're on a shoot and having a discussion on a shoot, or is it before a shoot? Okay. I think for me, I have multiple ways of working as a director. So it could be, for example, an artist just sends me a song and goes, do what you want. That's one example of me being a director. Another example, which is for me more interesting and more fulfilling, is when an artist comes to me with a song, a concept, and wants help bringing it to life. Because obviously, anyone can think of an idea, but it's the execution and bring that idea to life that's the most important thing, I think. So a lot of times for example, if I work, say for example, I did a video with H, for example, he had a song and he had some ideas of what he wanted to do for certain lyrics in the song. So in that dynamic, I came in and helped him bring it to life visually. Because you can't expect a musician to have the skills of how to be able to communicate with a crew, how to communicate with visual effects and bringing everything together. So I think my skill set as a director is not just taking a song and just coming back with a mad idea and going, wow. What I value myself and what I'm proud of myself the most is collaborating with people and understanding the nuts and bolts of who they are and what they're trying to achieve and bringing that together with them. So I think about drawing the line, I think there should probably never be a line that you draw. You shouldn't never stop pushing your idea. I think it's all about collaboration and understanding. As an artist, this is my heart's on the page. This is what I've done as a musician. This is what I want to do. But then trusting that director with your vision so they can bring their skill set into it and bring that to life. And in those capacities, it could be called co-directing, it could be called directing, it could be called whatever. As long as you both understand from the start how you want to work, then I think you'll make the best work you can. Definitely.
Going to come right over here. We're keeping the questions flying. Let's go.
So
as a manager,
you work with an artist who does not want to be signed.
Brilliant. You're a manager. How do you work with an artist that does not want to be signed? I'm going to come to you next, Megan.
I am, but I don't manage an artist.
What do you manage?
Talent, a presenter. But as an A&R, I can answer.
Yeah.
I think I don't mind if an artist doesn't want to be signed straight away because I can also appreciate when that right time is. And so, for example, the quickest I've ever done a deal is probably within a week. And the longest took me 10 months of just building a relationship and actually showing how I can bring value to their team and vice versa, and that we're the right fit for each other. So I think if there's an artist that doesn't want to be signed, I would say, from a manager's perspective, I would be educating the artist about all the options available to them, the pros and cons, where they're at, and how that might fit with their identity and their journey. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
So Robert Bruce,
Yeah.
very good DJ, obviously.
Yeah.
Suddenly gets an offer from Sirius Radio, lots of money.
He is on Sirius Radio already, but bigger. Yeah. Yeah.
Bigger one, lots
Yeah.
of money that's going to take up lots of his time away from some of the things that you've already been planning for.
Yes. We actually had that the other day. There was an offer to shoot a TV show for 6 months in like the Philippines or something wild. It was never going to happen because who's got the budget for that as wild? But obviously we thought about it, but
Yeah.
it's...
You would just like, no.
No, because unless you're going to pay, the money has to make sense. But I think that's what I'm saying. I think it's a slightly different question. But I think in terms of a music artist wanting to be signed, I actually think it's more about, from a management perspective, and I don't know if you'll agree, but I think it's more about educating the artist about their options, and then you can work it out. And 9 times out of 10, most artists want to be signed, whether that's at the beginning of their career or right in the middle after success or whatever. There's a right time for everyone, I think, but that doesn't mean that everyone does it or has to. But I think it's definitely an education thing and understanding what it even means. I think that's the key to it. Yeah, you should answer.
Megan, go for it.
Definitely for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wanted a loose cannon answer, though. That's why I came to you. Go on.
Yeah, like you said, that you'd have to look at all of the options available, but I mean, this is quite a controversial opinion, potentially.
Come on with the controversy. I'm ready. Let me adjust my seat.
But I feel as though the landscape of music has changed so dramatically the past few years.
Has.
And, you know, it's become a lot more single-driven rather than album-driven.
True.
So with the resources available to independent artists now, you know, like with distributions, it's like, it is possible now. It just means that the manager has to then take on a lot more responsibility that the A&Rs would take on, because, you know, it would be left up to me, for example, to upload the track and like submit to Spotify and like assemble a team at like the distribution to like make sure that they're on the case. But
I know what's coming.
what?
Go on.
But yeah, it's like I just kind of feel like the advantage of being on a label is there's more money for marketing. I
True.
think if an artist wants to go completely independently, they just have to work their asses off and be prepared to like put their own money behind it. Because unfortunately, like with content creation, with, you know, the way Instagram and like Facebook, TikTok, and it's all like, you have to pay to be seen now. It's like, otherwise you get lost in an algorithm. So that's not cheap. And so it's just, like you say, like educating of like the pros and the cons. And I mean, all the artists I work with, I'm super passionate about, so I'm prepared to put the work in, but it's whether they are as well, because it needs to be a lot more of a team exercise.
So it's about both sets. Questions again. I'm going to keep flying now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to you there, and then I'm coming to you, okay? And then I'm going there, okay? So I got one. Then I'm coming there.
What advice would you give to video director on what steps can be taken to transition from working with those smaller artists to make those bit bigger shows?
Ooh, go on. Give that question again. Oh, I see. So what advice would you give to a video director? Got it.
On how to transition working with those
smaller artists into big ones. Go. Okay.
Biggest piece of advice I can give for that question, which is a similar thing what happened to me, was I wouldn't like when you say smaller artists, I don't think any artist is small just because they're not signed to a record label. I think probably some of the artists that aren't signed to records are probably bigger and better than others. They're just not being discovered yet. So I think it's probably looking at it in a different lens and understanding that everyone's on a different career path and different part of their journey. So I think if it's a case of you working with an independent artist and wanting to transition to bigger budgets, it's finding those artists and growing them and helping them grow, because if you grow these artists who are small, which they aren't, they're just at a different point in their career, those are the artists that will grow with your help and get those bigger budgets, and there'll be more loyalty and you can create a longevity and you can go on forever. Like a lot of the artists I work with now, I work with more than 5-6 times. That was a couple of artists from Manchester. I've done like 15 videos back to back, and now they're getting big budgets. So for me, it's finding the music that you enjoy and then growing that artist portfolio together as a team. And just naturally by doing that and putting your passion, your heart into these particular projects, you'll just get noticed by mistake by bigger opportunities and bigger labels. And when I first started, I was doing videos with Manchester artists that might have looked like big budget videos, but they weren't. I was just doing everything on my own. And then it was actually Parlophone who first discovered me, and actually that gave me a 20 grand video off the back of doing videos for free for years. So it's definitely not about thinking that the artists that you're working with are small, because they're not. It's just they're in a different part of their journey as so are as you know.
I've got a question for Andy Daniel, and this is to do with, okay, so FFRR, right? Label status. Obviously, it's a label. Okay, quite interesting. How many people here have ever heard about a label called FFRR? Okay, so my question is really, how important is label status now? So when I say that, I mean FFRR, to those that don't know about it, is, or should I say even was, known as almost like one of the founding pinnacle dance labels, full stop, right? And I guess you've rebranded now and come again. Is it important for you as a label to bring that history through and connect it with today? Are you going, no, actually, we're just new, it's going to be a new springboard? How important is label identity in today's world? Go for it.
Really important, in my opinion. Like, you know, this is a label that has kind of 35 years of incredible heritage, and to turn your back on that is just idiotic.
Name some of the, if you can. I know I put you on the spot.
No, like Armor Van Helden, You Don't Know Me, Goldie, Timeless, Orbital, Belfast, through to even Salt and Pepper Push It, to Frankie Knuckles.
Ooh, Push It.
Like,
Push It. Really.
Yeah, it's an incredible spectrum of music across it. And when I took it on, this was like one of the biggest kind of fears that I had of like, how the fuck do you kind of just, or kind of live up to that kind of history?
DJ, let's be real. You don't know. DJs used to love even wearing the logo.
Yeah.
I mean, the logo was like, oh, where'd you get the hoodie from? Do you know what I mean?
But my thing was, if you want to kind of live on past glories, just go be a catalogue label and do that. But my thing was like, okay, how do I take all of that history, heritage, and turn it into a new forward-thinking frontline label that absolutely has knowledge of its past without being defined by its past?
Yeah.
So it was taking all of the learnings, the kind of ethos of its history, and applying that to the future. That's how I kind of did it, and that's why I changed it around a bit, put a bit of a line in the sand.
Some of the new artists that you've got coming through on it?
It's broad, like we've got everything from Diplo to Skin on Skin to Sam Galatry to someone called Burns. Like there's loads.
Wow.
I struggle when I get put on the spot.
Oh no, listen, that's good. That's good. Sorry, I jumped to the queue. There was someone here. It was you, then it was you, then I'm coming down. Ooh, down here. People that are back, come forward. Quick. Come through, and because there's some seats here that I need filled, so come through. Don't hide behind a pillar. It's not going to run. Come on. Down here. Letitia, you too, come. I'm a troublemaker. It's just how I am. I was born like that, so come on. All right, let's go.
With there being like different deals, like 360 deals, and like single deals, is it whereas would the label be flexible with certain things for specific artists, or is it whereas it's set in stone and it's just where that's the deal?
Sorry, say that again. 360 deals.
So I was saying that if
Just different types of deals.
different types of deals, is there any way to budge on them, or is it where it's
Oh shit, man. Go ahead.
I think
You're living in that age, I'm sure. Go
Yeah,
on.
no, I feel like from the beginning of my time at Parlophone even, and just, my career in general in music, I think it's become much more flexible. And it's also dictated by, like, the culture at the time. So I don't know, if you look at, like, I guess 2016, 2017, like that GRM era of the song drops on Thursday night and it gets a certain amount of views, and they were single driven. So a lot of the deals were single driven for that reason, because that's what the market was kind of dictating. But I think now, because of, like what was said earlier, like the landscape has changed so much, we have to be a bit more flexible. And there's distribution companies now which are becoming a lot more competitive with the major structure and what artists need and want. And for labels to keep up with that, they need to be a lot more agile. I think there's still, more to be done, but I think it's definitely a case-by-case basis. And if you kind of come in knowing what your plan is, kind of back to the answer that I gave you about your artistry, and that's from management as well as the artist. If you know what your kind of goal is, what do you want to achieve by doing that deal? Like, the goal isn't to be signed. That's not what you're meant to be doing. You're meant to be signed so that you have the resources to take your career to the next level. So if you can do that on a single, great. Or if you've got this great single that's popping and you can, amplify it and make it a global smash, amazing. But if you just want to sign for the check or whatever, that isn't necessarily the move that's going to benefit you. So I think it's just about, again, just learning the business and working out what you're trying to achieve with every step that you take.
But yeah, definitely. And no, she said it. I'm going to shut up. Actually, I'm going to shut up. Just to say, I'm going to call it now. Not call it as in the end of this session, because we've still got some questions. But I'm telling you right now, she can't hear me, but Kamali will definitely be a CEO of a label. All right? I'm telling you now. She can't hear it, but I'm telling you now. Without doubt. I've seen her from young to even younger, but I'm just literally, and I'm telling you, that's just where some people, you look at their arc and that's where they're going. Okay? So, very proud of this one. Very, very proud of this one. Okay, sorry. We're getting emotional. Go on.
Say, as a self-releasing artist, at which point should you begin pitching your music to a bigger label in terms of each one takes time? So if you're self-releasing, you need funding, you've got to do all the assets, you're almost a record label.
I'm coming to you.
Versus pitching it to a bigger label, at what point should you be doing that?
And I'm coming to you.
Can I say one thing?
And I'm coming to you.
I'm going to just say one sentence. Don't pitch it to labels.
Ooh!
Don't. They should find you. Like, that is my job. Like, if you are making the right noise, doing the right things in your lane, your town's excited, you're building a fan base socially, in real life, I will find you. I'm outside 7 days a week, I will find you. So do not pitch. I don't want you to send me a Google Drive link of that's not, don't get me wrong, there's a time and place, but don't worry about that. And I think that takes a lot of pressure off you as an artist too, because you should just be doing what you're doing and building, and we will come to you. Sorry, that was all. That was a few more seconds.
No, but it's such a... Honestly, what you said there, you're going to come next, and you're going to come after that. But it's this point, right, is such... it's such a juicy point, because some artists want to hear it, other artists are just like, nah, what are you talking about? You're just like that. And it really is. That thing of, okay, you're sat here now, and I go to you, okay, how many people's numbers in this room have you taken while you've been here?
Today?
Yeah.
Not many, because I've only come to this one so far.
That's fine, no. But do you see what I'm saying? Your immediates, and then their immediates, and then their immediates. How many documentaries do you listen to when someone's got Jay-Z's like, yeah, I used to hang with blah, and I met blah at blah, and then we were down at such and such is when blah. Your immediates, right, are sat in this room. Your network is your net worth. Like, it, honestly. And the thing is, it's easy, I suppose because we're a bit higher on this thing, but actually we're on the level, really. Do you know what I mean? And it's that thing of, if you come with the next shit, everybody's calling you. If you come with the next shit and it's here and it starts to spread and people see it online in some kind of way, right? People are coming. Some of the people here probably won't want anybody else to know, so they'll be like, shh, remember that guy at the seminar?
Me? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, exactly what you're saying. It is all about making a network for yourself. I know, my industry might be a little bit niche. I don't know if it's the same across the board, but nowadays, like, labels pretty much want the finished project. Like, they don't want to develop artists. It's very, very rare in metal that they want to take on a band that, has got like 1,000 followers on Instagram. They want someone that's already going to, like, potentially get a number one. Like, they're all looking for the next Bring Me the Horizon or something. So it is difficult. And I think if you've got that network, you can invite people to your show. It's not like going in for a hard sell, like, sign me. It's more like, come and check them out. Like, and it comes up naturally in conversation. It's just more organic.
And it's that thing of, if they hear it from one person, then they hear it from another, then, do you know what, one of their mates say, oh, my daughter's just said blah. Then you hear it, they say, what is it, an average of 5 times or something like that from different people, then you know it's on. It's like, hold on, I can't escape it. Now, weirdly, that doesn't come from you sending a Google Drive.
Yeah.
It's from everywhere else.
Just to butt in, sorry. I always think it's really good to make friends with other artists as well.
Not
just like people like managers or A&Rs, because they'll speak to their people, or they might take you on tour, or they might just like mention you in an interview, and then it gets a buzz happening rather than just doing the banging on the doors.
Boom.
Agree with everything that's been said. It's all about network, it's contacts, it's the culture that you live in, and that will amplify you as part of it. People will knock on your doors if you're saying something, I promise you.
Oh, was I here? Was I supposed to come here? I love that she was like, yes. Yes, go on. The questions are getting hot now. I like this room. I can take off my shoe and chuck it. Let's go. Come on, man. I'm ready. Come on. Woo! I don't care. You answer it. Come on. You answer it. I'm ready.
I'm looking for talent. I'm not looking for trends. Trends move. You can't try and hit a moving target.
Did you hear that, Jem? No. Did you hear what he just said? He said, I'm liking this guy. Say it again, please. Rewind.
Talent, not trends. Don't try and hit a moving
not
target.
Trends. Talent and not trends. Because trends move. Oh, man, I'm writing that down. Sorry, I'm excited. Oh, yeah. I know, I'm getting warned. All right, sorry. Anybody else want to answer that? Tilly, come on, Tilly.
Hunger. I'm not even going to lie. You need to really, really, really want this, because there's a lot. There's a lot. You're going to go through a lot. But hunger, I can't even lie. Hunger and talent, obviously, but hunger, hard work, all of that is super, super important. There's an artist right now that I'm kind of looking after, Rain. Big shout out to you, Rain and RB as well. These kids, do you know what they've gone and done, right? So they've shot the music video where they've made a lot of noise around the Piccadilly town centre. They've got a bunch of people in the video, all the youngers doing backflips, running through Piccadilly Gardens, all of that stuff. And then they've gone ahead and printed out stickers about the song, and it's got like a QR code on it, gone around town themselves, handing it out, doing all of that, sticking it in places and all of that stuff. Like, all of that, these are things that even helps to get you noticed. Someone can just be walking down the street and the colour pops out and they're like, oh, what's this? What's going on here? Pull out their phone, scan it, all of that stuff. Thinking outside the box is super, super important. So, yeah, hunger and talent, man, all of that stuff. You know?
I'm going to call it, Tilly will be an A&R person within 1 year. Just calling it. Just calling it. Go ahead.
All I was going to say is I totally agree with that. The hustle is key, and like if you're not willing to promote and shout yourself, you can't expect anyone else to. You've got to be leading from the front. Like, yeah, everyone, labels, management, every aspect is there to support and empower you and amplify you. But if you're not kind of wanting to do it as well, it's hard to kind of make anyone else.
Jeez. I'm coming to you next. Pink Hat, don't worry. In fact, let's go to Pink Hat straight. I'll come to you green. I know. I could feel it. I could feel it.
From a manager's point of view, because especially in the UK, there's a lot of genres that he's trying.
Yes, cross genres, but we're very good at that.
Would you say it's best to kind of stick with one, or is it best?
Oh. Oh. I have to shut up.
I think as artists, I think it's really important for you to express yourself fully. I don't think you should be bound to a genre. But that being said, again, it really comes down to the kind of artist that you're trying to be, and what you do. If you're a singer, I think there's value. I would say, I don't know if you are a rapper or an artist yourself, you look like one. I hate when managers or artists say to me, or rappers rather, particularly, say, yeah, he's really versatile, she's really versatile. It is my pet peeve. I don't want to hear that you're versatile. I want to know that I come to you for this thing, and that's not a sound. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't not because you only do drill, you only do this. Like I come to you because wordplay or your cadence or your flow, or do you know what I mean? Like it has to be a signature. And I guess you could look at someone like Dave, just off the top of my head as one example. I think he's a really good example of not being bound by one genre or another. You can kind of go from the beginning of his catalogue to the end. He's got a location, he's got a system. Do you know, it mixes it up, but he also has. On my 19th birthday, or you know what I'm trying to say, and it's actually,
Dave is deep.
Yeah, and what you go to him for is substance. Yes. He's got a message. He's going to tell you something. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, I don't know, someone like Getz, for example, he's always been just so fast and furious, and it's like, how does he get all those words out with such clarity? Also has a message. Also tells stories. Do you know what I mean? So to me, it's more about focus less on the genre that you're doing and focus more on what makes you. Why am I going to pick you to listen to today? Like, is it because I want to be in the gym today and you like whatever the song is going to get me gassed? And it's, you know what I mean? It's like it's more focusing on that, because I think naturally when you're a young artist and you're developing, you've got to work out what it is that you like. And naturally genres are fluid, they change a little bit. You're going to take a little bit from there, a little bit from the other. And so, yeah, if possible, you want to avoid that. But that being said, if you're a dance artist and that's your world, you know, it's important to kind of give people what they want. And I always say that you kind of have to earn the right as an artist to do whatever. It's probably a really old reference, and I should probably find a more recent one, but I always look at Pink, and when she first started her career, she was an R&B artist.
Yeah, true.
And if you look at Pink now, she's a trapeze,
everything.
walk-in, tightrope walk-in,
pop singing,
pop,
ballad,
rock,
everything.
Which is amazing for her, and because she gained, you know, she built herself up and she was young, and it's like, you know what, this is where I was at when I was 19, but now I'm 30, or Adele even. I think Adele's another great example of that. So yeah, I think it's just, you kind of earn the right as you build your fan base and you build your career and you know, have your life experiences to do what you want as an artist, and everyone kind of just has to accept it. Or Kanye, you know what I mean? Like, he gets experimental, but he couldn't have done that first album and been who he is today necessarily. You kind of have to build somewhere and bring people along for the journey.
And also definitely, by the way, brilliant answer, Kamali, but also this thing of bringing people along, this thing of, and I understand it's tough artist-wise, because on the one hand, right, versatility is quite key, right? And you almost, if you get faced with, you know, a Kamali, or you get faced with, you know, anybody coming at you from a label, right? The last thing you want to do is turn that opportunity down. So your thing is yeah, I'm versatile first. But we're telling you, in a way, it's not necessarily the way. It's just not necessarily the way. The Mandalorian. It's not necessarily the way, right? So it's this thing of you using It's almost like using different surfboards, if I might use metaphorical speech and language, right? You using different surfboards in order to get out to sea, right? You might use a feature on one record, right, to get here. You might use a feature on another record to get here. You might use that way to test your audience, to take yourself out to sea. Do you see what I'm saying? But your own true self might emerge out of all of that, and you go, do you know what? This is the way forward. Do you know what I mean? This is the way forward. And also, the power of the pivot. The power of the pivot is the other thing. That thing of actually going, okay, I've got, as Kamari said, I've got this fan base now. I've got this. From doing all of those things, I've got this. Now, I'm going to turn all of those eyes onto what I do because I know what it is that I'm doing now. Do you know what I mean? You were going to say something. No. Okay. Green.
Yeah, okay.
Got that loud out there. Come on.
Yeah.
By the way, we've got some seats over here. People at the back. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 seats over here. Come through. Yeah. Come through. Man with the scarf. Don't worry. Just bring it. There you go. Take a seat. There you go. Thank you. Right.
Yeah. I think one of the major challenges that I've faced is the live aspect of things, because within my genre, like, that's sort of like the big thing, you know, that's where most of the money's made, in like live and merchandise. And so what I've noticed with a lot of labels is they will look at what sort of venues bands are playing, they'll look at who their agent is, but then you get stuck in this loop where it's like you're not going to get the agent that the label wants until they've got the label that the agent wants. So you kind of, it's a constant sort of like battle between getting that reputation and then, I don't know, I've lost my train of thought now, sorry.
No, but I get it.
It's just this circle, and it's like, it's finding a way to establish yourself so that you can break down that wall and put on an amazing show. Like, make sure that you treat every single live show as though it's a headline. Like, make sure that your brand and your identity comes through in every single live show, because you could be playing to like 5 people as an opener and blow the main artist off the stage, you know? And you should just go into every single show like that, because you never know who's in the audience. It's like that main, like, the headline artist might have their A&R people there or their agent there, and then they see you first on and they're just like, who the fuck's this? And then that opens up a doorway. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of hard work and commitment, but it's like, just keep at it and make sure that you've got a really, really strong brand identity.
Every single show.
Yeah.
Who asked the question again? Green. What's your name? Sorry? Conduit. D-U-I-T. Conduit. Okay. Conduit. I got you. So, this every single show principle, really fucking important. I'm deadly serious. I don't care if we're live streaming. Really fucking important. Okay?
I used to play football, I call it
Cup final energy. Honestly, the people that have been discovered through either supporting someone or doing that thing, or I can give you one example from, we got told, okay, we had played at a huge stadium, and then we got told, oh, one of the gigs that we had booked way back, we had to do, and it was for 250 people. So imagine you're going from 80 to 90,000 people to 200 people. And I remember us all being like, oh man, why are we doing that gig? That should be cancelled, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. We went, our manager was like, shut up, who do you think you are? And we were like, okay, you're right. We then got in the the van, went to the show, did the show, one of our best shows, all right? And I remember coming off stage being, I'm so glad we did the gig. And we really went at it. Geezer came out, he was like, listen, I was in the audience. We've just had a cancellation. I'm with the British Council, and we're going to need a band to take the other band's place. And we were like, where for? He said, it's a 2.5-month tour of South America. He said, fully, everything paid for. What do you want to do? I was like, I'm so glad we did the gig. We took it. Still to this day, that's how I know Brazil, that's how I know Colombia, that's how I. Cup final energy, I like your analogy. Honestly, these are the last 2 questions. I know it all started to kick off, but what can we do? I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there. Have I missed anybody? Please don't say. Okay, there, go, sir.
When does an artist...
Travelled from London, this guy, you know? No, Leeds. Got it.
When does an artist know when to start approaching managers? Like, when is the right time to... Is it earlier or later when they've got stuff out? I'm just curious.
I have a perspective on this, but I'm not a manager. I'm a label. I always have a sense that you kind of know when you need a manager because you can't do it yourself anymore, and that's when you start knowing. I think it's almost like I'm ticking a box. I need a manager. You probably don't.
You don't need a manager at that point.
You'll know, like either someone will approach you or you'll be like, shit, I need help.
Yeah.
That's when I think you need a manager.
I always say it's when you're drowning. Yeah. When you're literally and you're only drowning, by the way, because stuff's popping off. So when stuff's popping, and it's coming from too many different angles, at that point you're like, oh, no, please.
But you also might have already met your manager. It might be a mate that's helping you out that becomes a manager. You know what I mean? I think people think of it as a box tick rather than what it should be sometimes.
And please, artists, one thing. I know you will hear this and you will hear this. Do not fire your manager if you've had a successful first album. What is it with artists and that?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Artists do that all the time. They're like, well, yeah, I got to this position. And actually, it wasn't that person, it was me. Exactly. It's like, don't be a fool. By the way, I've done it. So I'm not talking from experience. As an artist, I did it. And I remember thinking, you're a damn fool. Honestly, just don't. And it's another discussion. Okay, last question. There you were, sir. Everyone question. It's the last one. By the way, next up, the panel is, there's Drea Mack has come from London to be here. 82 million streams. What can you do? She's going to be here on this stage. Bam! Or they're going to be. Let's go.
What's the legacy you want to leave? So when you leave this up, what's the legacy you want to
That's another big question. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Shoes flying and everything. It's the last one, I know. I said, she's come to tell me off. Let's go.
For me,
legacy.
It's simple. It's like that I use my platform to empower creativity that I really believe in, that I did the best for myself and my artists and tried to make a positive impact with a platform that I'm lucky enough to have. That's how I look at it.
Self and your artist to try and make a positive impact. Legacy.
I think what I want to be known for is knowing that I, didn't give up.
Yeah. Created
a platform and a community for creatives, primarily in Manchester, to be able to find and build a career. Obviously I've created a production company, and the whole idea for that is to be a place for other creatives in the city of Manchester.
Wonderful.
To be able to thrive and grow with and have the support and the ecosystem and network and all the work that I've had to do to get to this point.
Yeah.
Will hopefully give them the support that they need to help build their careers.
Wonderful.
I think my legacy may be that I've always supported and been led by passion.
There you go. That's good. We'll take that.
My legacy. Oh, just a bit mad. I will. I want to be in a situation where I can feel like, wow, like I've actually helped the generation younger than me, and show them that there's a way to do this. Like you can really, do really well with your artistry. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of younger ones that look up to me. I don't know why. Look up to me, and I'm like, I want to be able to create a space where, listen, you guys, there's so much out there for you. There's a lot going on outside what you see around you, especially within the music industry. There's so much to do. And yeah, to show them that there's other ways, because there's a lot of nonsense going on outside and you see all your boys doing this and doing that, but you've got talent, so making the most of it. But then I can actually say, wow, like, I helped in one way, shape or form to be a part of that journey. So
Wonderful. And the Kamali.
I would say I would want my legacy to be sort of humanizing the process of being on the business side of music, because I think it is a conflict with your passion for it. And putting artists first where I can. And also just being part of British history and cultural moments that everybody kind of can look back on, and their first, a lot of firsts, and their wedding and their baby's first song and that kind of stuff, because that's what's really important to me. And I look up to, I don't know, someone like Twimby, and I think he's been a part of so many incredible records that mean so much to my life, and to be part of that journey and find those artists and elevate them, that's what I hope I can achieve as well.
And you will. Wow. Hold on, before we even get to that. Legacy. I know. Legacy, all I would say is from my side, an American called Sylvia Rohn sat me down in 1995, 95. And she said, look, I know you're in a band, but she said, I can see that you've got something of the business about you. So I really want you to take that with you when you go back to England. And remember, open a window, she said, and let others through. And I'm glad that part of my story on this earth is doing just that, because I like it. All right, so listen, I am gonna, every person that I say stand and leave, you must clap for, but you're going to start low, and then it's going to, as we turn up the heat, you shout louder until, and we're doing that to let out the final piece of energy, because as they go out, the next panel comes in. We're hardcore, so this is the last panel coming in. It's the last panel. So, as I say, Andy, Daniel, please rise. If you go out and tell the others to come in. The next person, Casey Locke, please rise.
Thank you, everyone.
Come on. The next person is Megan Burns, please rise. The next person is Kamali Scott Jones, please rise. The next person is Tilly the Tillstar, please rise. Welcome in the next panel. The next panel, keep clapping, because the next panel's coming straight in. We don't do breaks here, we're hardcore. Take a seat, let's go. In comes the next panel. One by 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 one. Okay. Victoria Jane. Let's keep it moving. Come on. Well, we got Kemi Fox. Lady Lee, we've got Sangi, the producer. We've got Sangi, the producer. We've got Matt James. Lady Ice. Lady Ice. Oh, yes. There is someone else. Managed to snag this one only 2 days ago. KSR, come on. Manny what? Manchester, come on, man. Stand up. What? Who have we got left? Who have we got left?
Everyone.
Who have we got left?
Tangi.
Trouble. Okay. Is there somebody that I haven't mentioned?
Everyone is here. What about you?
No.
Let's have a round of applause.
Someone
for you.
has never been with a baddie. She comes to
You mentioned Drea.
I did, but I'm saying it again. Drea, Mac, come on now. All right.
Can we have a round of applause for you now, everyone?
I'm gone. Listen, I got to get my shoes. I'm off.
How is everyone doing? How's today been? You learnt some gems? Good. So we're into the panel, the next panel of the day, which is Artist Breakthrough. The last one. And you guys are in for a treat because you're going to have a real insight into each of these amazing people's careers and journeys so far. All of these people are incredible and have really been on a journey, I would say. And I wanted to just go straight in and ask you all the same question. What do you think has been key to helping each of you break through from your areas? I don't know who wants to go first. Okay, me.
Hi, guys. Personally, for me, I felt it was hardship and using music as therapy. I feel like that's what pushed me to be able to want to come out of my environment and better my life and just use the art to my, to the best of my ability. So for me personally, it was just my circumstance. I felt like I was bigger than my surroundings. And that's what helped me grow and push. And, I said, I'm not going to stop until I get to where I need to be. And I'm still not where I need to be, but I've come far, you know what I mean, considering my actual circumstance. So, yeah, that was it for me, really.
So you think that's been your main drive?
That's literally my main drive, yeah. It's like family, like things that are precious to me personally. And then obviously, like, also knowing that it's not just me that is going through something that I'm going through, particularly at that time, it's other people, and I can use that and then, inspire other people. So I felt like I could do that musically, and that's what kind of pushed me and gave me that fire in my belly, so.
Who wants to go next?
You? Hi, guys. I feel like what made me break through, I guess, like, I don't know, commercially or, like, into the music scene, put me on the map kind of thing is my online presence. I feel like it matters a lot. I feel like artists in general definitely underestimate it, but people need to know who you are in order to connect with you. Otherwise, they're just going to be hearing your music, and then there's no connect between the person and the music, That helped me a lot, and also, yeah, just the same as Lady I said, my drive. You just got to keep going, especially when you're being told no. That's when it matters the most. So, yeah.
I guess for myself, it was very much being able to just tell stories every single day. That was kind of like that thing that was really driving me every single day. And again, obviously, I came from I was always surrounded around people who were just rappers, no singers. And I was more or less the only person that was a singer. So it was very, very much hard for me to kind of be different in a way, or kind of actually showcase my talent in a different way as well and be comfortable. But eventually kind of like jumping over that hurdle was definitely like a breeze. But then kind of unlocking that was great. But then again, being able to tell stories about life and again, life that I go through on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I guess that's my kind of drive for me.
I would agree with what one of you guys were saying as well. For me, it was like trying some different, like, not career paths, but activities that I realised I didn't enjoy, and then always coming back to music, because it was my escape. It was, as you were saying, just a way to, therapy, literally. When you have a bad day, it just makes you feel good when you've wrote a song and it's like, wow, this is a vibe, and I've got this emotion out that I'm feeling. So yeah, it was just always going back to that and songwriting. like that connection with that just made me want to do it. And it always makes it better when you release something and someone else connects with it even more than you and tells you a story about your song and how they connect with it. That's such a good feeling. So yeah, that kind of keeps the drive and makes me want to do it more.
What about you, Sangu? What's kind of been the key things to help you break through and be as great as you are today?
I don't know about that, but what's helped me kind of become more, probably just perseverance, just trying lots of different things until one of them sticks and one of them fits. Playing to your strengths, knowing what you're good at, knowing what you're not good at. Yeah, just trying lots of different things until one of them works, I suppose.
You mentioned perseverance, which kind of brings me on to the next thing I was going to come to. I think it's so hard to break through. Many of you guys in the audience are probably asking yourself, how do I do it? How do I break through? How do I get to where I want to be? And, you know, you guys might have faced some setbacks on your journeys today. Some setbacks that you guys might have faced, is there any that you could share about things that have been extra hard on your journey to breaking through, or that are still hard to this day? Anything you can share with the audience?
I would definitely say I'm still breaking through. And maybe like just the struggles with yourself and like comparing yourself to other people's journeys, because obviously everyone's on a different journey, especially with music. It might just not be your time yet, and I find it sometimes hard when you just see people doing like what you feel is better than you to kind of keep that motivation sometimes. But then obviously you just need to say, it's not my time yet, keep doing it, keep enjoying it. I think it's so important to enjoy it, because sometimes you can take life a bit too seriously, or whatever you're doing a bit serious. And yeah, just take it back to why you started it and just start enjoying it again. And I feel like people are going to relate to that, and people are going to relate to the music more if you're enjoying it, and like you're coming across again on like social media and stuff and like enjoying your life, and people are just going to want to be involved and want to know you and want to listen to your music. So yeah.
My hardships have mostly been around like management. I'd say if you're struggling to like find management that really sticks with you, like don't really worry about, I don't know, how it looks. And like sometimes you start to think about how it looks, like, oh, if I, you know, change this, or maybe I should just stick with this, even though it's not serving me, because people might think this. Don't worry about that. Like, it's your business, and this is your livelihood. Do you know what I mean? So, I'd say go through the motions, see what works, have trial runs with people, and I guess if it's not working out, always just pick yourself. Don't pick like just the situation you're in right now. Yeah, this is all right. It's comfortable. It's not. Things are slipping through, but, you know, it's comfortable. Now, like, make sure you have on your team the people that are going to push you to the best of your ability, you know what I mean? You don't want it to just, you don't be cruising. I feel like it's okay to cruise, okay, they're, I don't know, doing stuff that managers should do anyway, but, like, make sure people are pushing you as well. That's what I'd say, yeah.
So I would say, for me personally, I would say self-sufficiency. I feel like it has helped me a lot because it helps me know what I want, how I want it, because I made it a priority to learn the business as well. And I would say it has taken me longer, but I feel like it's important and I value that so much, because I feel like if I didn't, like certain things that I flag up now, I wouldn't flag up. Do you know what I mean? And now I know who I am as an artist, and I know what to expect. So yeah, I would say that was kind of hard to kind of go through that stage, because it's a long process. Because, you know, when you get into this business, people think, okay, yeah, right, we're gonna have a manager, and the manager's gonna do X, Y, Z, then we're gonna get signed, and this is that. And yo, it don't even work like that, to be fair. And for me personally, it's like, I had to have that stage in my life where I'm like, you know what, I want this, and this is how I'm going to get to it. And if it just means me, and I'm a one-man band, and it means that, you know, I'm going to be able to sustain in the industry longer, then that's what I'm going to do. And I made it a priority to learn marketing, contract writing, and just campaigns. Like, to this day, I do my campaigns on my own, like from start to finish, and it's a lot that goes into it. Materials, when it comes to video shoots, just everything, it's a lot that goes into it. So like, don't feel as well that you need to come into the industry and you feel like, okay, I need a manager right now, I need help with X, Y, Z, I need this and that, because you can do it yourself. It's only when you get to a certain point, you might need more guidance, and you might need a bit of a machine behind you to push you a bit further, because, you know, it's not bad to have a team, do you know what I'm saying? So everyone needs a team, but try and kind of, like, for me personally, obviously every artist is different, but for me personally, I try to get as much as I could alone first before I just jump ship, because, you know, like, you might go in as well as young musicians and you can be a bit naive and think, you know what, I'm gonna get signed and X, Y, Z, and it doesn't go the way you want it to go and you think it's going to go, because you see people like, I don't know, Little Baby and all these people, and everyone's shining, and the jewels, the chain, everything, and you think, okay, I'm going to get where they're going to get to, but it doesn't work like that. Like, you have to graft and grind, and some of these people have gone through different deals and gone through so much in their life, musically and everything, and now they're at this point. So I think don't go into it naive. I feel like go into it and think, you know what, I'm going to work no matter my circumstance. So even if I've got a manager, even if I've got a label, still be on it, because I feel like it's so important. So for me personally, management-wise, I'll be like, you know, this should be done this day, this should be done that day, and I'm on to them too. Don't just leave everyone to do everything. Be clued up and be on the ball. And that's what I would say.
Some gems right there. Okay, sir.
I definitely would say my biggest adversity that I've faced really has been mainly about my sound, like trying to find the right sound to actually identify as, like, okay, this is, like, you know, this is me. I remember speaking to you, like, obviously last time about it, and even till this day, like, I do struggle to actually think, oh yeah, this is the right sound, this is the right single, or I don't know, just trying to put, for example, a body of music together right now has been really like hard for me, because I don't know, I'm just going through a mad kind of thing in life where I just can't seem to find the right pockets. But then again, like, I feel like everyday sound is, you know, evolving, everyday sound is changing, and I feel like it's being comfortable to, you know, just adapt to it. And just sometimes you may fail, you may succeed, but it's, again, being able to just stand up every so often and just be like, oh, I want to make this, I want to make that, and just never look back and think to yourself, oh, this is corny, or this isn't the right sound for me, because you never know, it could just be that.
Do you think it's yourself putting pressure on you or do you think it's like you listening and hearing all this other music and thinking, is this fitting in? What do you think it is? I
think it's a bit of both. I'll be like, I do put a lot of pressure on myself. But I also feel like what we hear now is, like, again, very, very much, again, I don't know, like, I'm an R&B singer, so it's not everyone's, like, cup of tea a lot of the time, so it's hard to, like, you know, gravitate to a lot of people a lot of the times. But, you know, when you do find that gem, it's kind of like you got to keep chipping away, and sometimes, like, that's what I'm saying, like, trying to find the right balance within music is always hard, and it's not always going to be easy, and you're not always going to get it first time, but I guess chipping away and staying at it is kind of like the key element.
Definitely. Sangi, what about you? What are some setbacks you faced?
I wouldn't necessarily say setbacks. I think it's important, like I was saying before, to just try to play to your strengths. So maybe perhaps if you're trying to do something and it's not working for you, it's important, as much as it's important to go, I'm still going to carry on, I'm still going to try it, it's important to be realistic. Not everybody's going to be the superstar rapper, frontman of a band. If you're organised very well, for example, and you're good at organising things and logistical things, but maybe your music's not banging off, there's still a place for you to do something. I feel like a lot of people don't realise that. They kind of just think, I'm going to do this and I'm just going to direct all my time and effort into this. But for me personally, I feel like it's important to be realistic and take a step back and look at what's working and what isn't working. And then I suppose go from there, really. Like, from my own personal experience, it's like, right, I like creating, I like being in this environment, I like doing that, but I don't want to go and I don't even have my password for my social media. My manager does all that for me because I kept trying to delete it. But yeah, like, I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm not trying to go on the stage. I just want to make tunes and go home and watch telly with my missus. Like, so it's like, yeah, no, for real though. Like, I like creating, but apart from that, I'm not interested in the rest of it because I'm a producer. I just want to make the music. Like, so it's like, if I can outsource the rest of it to somebody else and just do the bit that I'm really good at, and all the other stuff that I either don't like doing or I'm not good at, someone else can do that, then great. But obviously, it's not as easy as doing that in every situation. But the important thing to take from that, or what I've took from my own experience, is figure out what you're good at. If you don't know what you're good at, try lots of different things until one of them sticks. And then you just kind of have to navigate your way from there. And also that really, nobody really knows what they're doing 100% of the time. Everybody's always trying or just kind of figuring it out. So I wouldn't put too much pressure on yourself in terms of that. I would say just try lots of things, yeah.
Round of applause for that. So, Sangi, you mentioned, well, to be fair, but I want to start with you on the next point because you are a producer. I wanted to kind of talk about management, kind of mentioned it just briefly in that last section. What point do you think, all of you, but starting with Sangi, what point do you think, or what point did you get a manager, if you do have one now? And how important do you think it's been to have a manager and the right team for you in your journey?
So everybody's journey is different. I was, for years and years and years, like I'm saying, in my view, doing things that weren't particularly suited to my own personal qualities. So I was trying to do my own music. I was trying to rap. I was trying to It wasn't popping off, wasn't working for me. I started getting more into making beats, cracking on. And to be honest, it just panned out nicely because my manager is Laz. I don't know, he was doing one-to-ones here today, the big 6'9" mountain of a man. He's here somewhere. My best mate, manager, therapist, all rolled into one. He's here somewhere. But yeah, he like basically started getting involved with the label that's here that Adex started, NQ. And then, yeah, man, big up NQ. And then from here, me and him was like best mates anyway, and he was just kind of like, I started to actually pick up some traction with producing and be doing a lot of things, and he was just kind of like, he was looking to take me on as a management client, and I was looking for a manager because, like I said, I didn't want to do all those things that I just said. I don't like doing any of that. And he was just like, cool, we'll do that, and it works well. I mean, well, it does for me. I probably annoy the life out of him, but yeah, I mean, for me it works, so.
Yeah.
I guess for me it was, I actually had a manager not very, very early, but like for the first 2 years of like doing KSR, I was more or less doing everything by myself, trying to source my own shows myself, engineering my own like sessions and everything. Like I did everything myself, and then eventually it got really, really tedious, trying to like balance everything. So I got my manager in like 2019, and then that made everything a lot more easier because he was able to like say, all right, I've got sessions and one day, and then for example he'll be able to like plan out my whole like month, for example, and then I would be able to just go to work, but then I could also go like plan out my own sessions as well. So it made everything just a lot more easier for me to just focus on maybe a lot of things, but now it's just like reduced to like so many more like minimal things. But I definitely would say like, if you're starting off, like I'd definitely say having a manager is not the end all and be all. Like generally actually go through the process of actually facing all your adversities and all the kind of hardships, because that actually makes you as an artist, if I'm being honest. Being able to just like tell yourself, oh right, okay, someone is interested in my music, cool. That's always the greatest thing. It's always the best feeling. But then it's being able to like kind of generate this like kind of ball of just like, I don't just want one person to just feel my music, I want everyone else to feel it. Kind of like trying to tell yourself to how do you create that kind of momentum. It's hard, but that's kind of like, again, that's one of my kind of like ticking tools, like every day, to try and tell myself, oh, I know I love music and I know what I'm doing, but it is what it is. But so then go back to having a manager, it's like, now I guess everything's a lot more easier. It just balances my whole books and everything. But yeah, I guess having a team's also great, you know. But again, it's just, it makes everything a lot more easier. From, I don't know if you want your artwork done, to having a producer, like an actual producer who you can work with on a day-to-day basis, because again, that's helping you find your sound, find your worth. And you're doing dog works as well. You know, you're trying to find, trying to find a team is also hard, but again, you've just got to learn to understand that you've got to sometimes do it by yourself first. That's just the honest truth. So yeah.
Me personally, I was quite lucky. My first single did quite well within the UK, I guess. The producer was from here, actually. His name's Kill Miami. And he just knew a lot more, I guess, about the scene, because he'd been producing for a couple other people. So when I released my first song, like, I just did that independently. Also, you don't know any managers. Like, if you're just coming into the scene, you're not just going to know people. So I obviously waited for people to come to me, and then I guess people started suggesting people. And then I pretty much, because I was quite young, I just went off of what people I trusted were saying. And that's the only thing I'd say I would do differently if I had the chance to. Like, you've got to test it out for yourself in terms of finding management. Don't rush into things either, especially when it comes to contracts as well. Like, just, it just could get, it gets more techie when it doesn't really need to be. Like, make sure you like set, I don't know, trial periods within the contracts, so that you're actually testing it out, and if it's not working out, you can leave without having to owe people money. Other than that, I feel like, just in terms of management, like everyone said, don't rush into it. Obviously with me, it got picked up quite quick, and I think that was just due to luck. I had someone who was quite, been in the game for tens of years, and knew what they were doing, approach me. So I guess, yeah, just weigh it out, do your own thing. And if you meet someone and they're quite organized, they have the attributes that a manager should have, maybe even try with them, even if they haven't, managed anyone before. Then you could grow together as well. So, yeah.
Amazing. So from that, guys, read up on your music business.
To me, I've never had a manager. Just get out there.
That's props to you.
I've never had a manager. Basically, I need one now, though. I can't lie. But I think for me personally, I kind of went into it. I kind of fell into just managing myself, and then I ended up just taking control of everything, to be honest. I remember before I was doing music full time, I used to work in an office, and literally on my break, I'd be calling my friend, can you email this person? Can you email that person? This person's calling me, this person's emailing me, and it's important people. And obviously it's I'm at work and I'm representing myself, so it's kind of techie, but I kind of just fell into it and continued it, and just made sure I learned what it is and what it takes to be a manager before I kind of give my baby to someone else, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was really it for me. And I think, people look at me and they're like, you've done all this stuff. I even done a fire and abuse the other day, and what I do is when I'm at big organizations, or when I'm doing things with, whether it's the BBC, I gather data. So that's what I've done majority of my career, is I gather data. So when it comes to campaigns, when it comes to singles and stuff, I will have the producer emails. So I could holler at my boy Target or holler at the actual presenters, but they've got busy lives, do you know what I mean? So what I would do is I would gather data and have emails for people behind the scenes. So then I'll be pushing it, and they would know me personally as well. And I'd be pushing it to these people. And that's kind of how I've built my links in the industry and how I've been able to maneuver without a manager or without a label at the moment. So, yeah, that's really it for me. But any managers out there, yeah? I need one now.
Before we go on to Akemi, that is a massive gem right there. If you're an artist and you want to get your music on radio, more time, find the producers, find the assistant producers, find their emails and send it to them, because presenters a lot of the time do not have that time to kind of go through all the music, and the producers are the ones doing the behind the scenes, making the show. So yeah, Akemi.
So I set out just like releasing stuff on my own. It's very much I can do it myself, DIY queen. And yeah, I was at uni at the time, so it was just my course wasn't very good, so it gave me a lot of time.
What did you do at uni?
Fashion communication, which was all right, and it's helped me style and stuff, which saves me money. But yeah, I was not into it, and I had a lot of free time, so I was doing a lot of music, making music and answering emails, because I love answering emails. I've said one day I'm going to be a manager because I love answering emails, and I love to be controlling, but not in a bad way. So anyone, one day I'll be a manager. But yeah, basically, yeah, it's very much, I don't need anyone. I remember Josh, now my manager, emailed me and was like, do you have management? And I was like, oh no. He was like, oh, can we have a phone call? I remember he called me, I was in the car or something, and he was talking to me, and he was really nice, but I was just like, no, I'm not interested. And then they set up a Zoom call with him and then my other manager, John, and they had a Zoom call with me, and they really excited me about my life, and it was just very much, they were very open to my journey, and I worked a lot with my producer Teo, and they were very happy to have him alongside me, because I always make music with him, and we are we're not a duo, but in a way we've built this journey together kind of thing. So they were very open to have us both. So yeah, they just excited me, and I felt like I trusted them, and I got a good vibe. You can feel if something's a bit off. And yeah, again, we had a trial period. I found a lawyer kind of thing, and I'd done a little bit of research. I'd spoke to people about, when's the right time to get a manager, and some people say, it's when the workload gets too much, and everyone has different opinions. So definitely, I wouldn't say have one at the start, just because I feel like, as you said, it is good to learn from your mistakes, because sometimes you'll play a bad gig and they'll be awful to you. But it's a funny story to tell, as much as it might not be a fun experience. But I'm glad I waited till then, because now I'm very thankful that I have them, because they've opened me to quite a lot of opportunities, personally, that I might have not found myself still studying and stuff, and have helped me do this full time now since finishing uni, so I'm very thankful for them. With them, we signed to NQ in December last year, so we've got a nice little team going, and it was just very much I set out as I didn't want a manager, but it kind of came to me, and I feel wait for it in a way, don't go finding it. I feel like if you find someone, they're going to try and mold you into something that they want. I feel like people, if they find you and they respect what you're already doing, you're gonna swim nicely together and support each other and grow together. So definitely, I think the best thing to do is just keep doing what you're doing, and I feel like the right people will 100% find you. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
It's crazy how each of you have such a different story, different journey. And the music business is driven by music, by songs, and with the rise of, social media, TikTok, and music just being so saturated, how do you make a breakthrough song? How do you write one? And what do you think are the ingredients that kind of go into that? Or do you think that there aren't really any special ingredients?
I feel like everyone has their own ways of creating music, so I feel like you can't really say that there's a specific way to write a song, but if the aim is to make it I don't know, reach the masses, then you just got to think of stuff that the consumer will like and maybe talk about that, I guess. Or like melodies will help you all the time. So like if you're trying to write a hook, just slap a melody in there. That's like what, I don't know. That's like what I go by, you know. Most of my hooks, I got a melody in there, but
do you start with melody first a lot of the time, or what's your process?
I usually always write my hook first because it's like the thing that makes the song, you know. Like, and also I just want it to be stuck in people's heads. So like in a good way though. So I say go with hook first. See how it feels. Like try hook first, and then from there you get the base of like what it's about, and then the verses, you know, you can talk in depth about what you're talking about in the hook. So yeah.
Amazing. Who wants to?
So what was the question again?
So like with the music industry being so saturated, how do you make a breakthrough song? How do you, like, what are the key ingredients to write or make a hit?
I feel like, obviously, in specific seasons, I feel like there's a formula. So I feel like sometimes certain genres are in and some genres are not. So I feel like sometimes be mindful of that, but then still stay true to yourself. So trying to implement yourself and your sound in what is actually current. Like, I don't think it's bad that, because some people say, oh, I'm not selling out or this. I don't think it's bad to do something different. I feel like music is music, and I love music as a whole, and I do it all. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, just expand on your horizon and listen to what's actually blowing right now, what's popping. But not to say that you have to listen to what's popping and your thing will blow, because there's people who are totally different and sounds we haven't heard before, and people are, you know, looking at it like, wow, what is that? Who is that? And it can blow. But I feel like just be very mindful of what is actually happening in the industry, what is happening on social media, TikTok, everything. I feel like it's knowing that. And for me personally, in terms of how I write a song, like it's melody, yeah, I'd say melody, and then I'll just be, I don't know, chatting macca, not even, do you know what I mean? There won't be any words in it yet, but I'll be like, do you know what I'm saying? And then I'll have the words after, and then, you know, I'll also be mindful of what is actually out and what's current, and then still staying true to myself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it really.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like, you kind of do have to do your like homework a bit of what kind of what's popping, and it's not necessarily like if you make like for example, like I make like chill R&B. It's not for me to make like a fast like dancey song, but it's just to take elements maybe of instruments or like little melodies to go with that might like be interesting for the ears for people. So I'm always like I always like when I'm writing just to expand and for it to sometimes not seem boring, because if you're making the same kind of song every day, sometimes I'm like, not again. You want to try something on a different beat or something, just to like challenge yourself as well. It might never come out, but you could also write a song for someone else and that could be someone else's hit. So think about it but like that. I think it's always good to try something different, even if you don't end up using it. I think it's just a good homework for yourself just to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. But obviously still stay in your like vibe as well, what makes you you. So yeah.
What about you, KSR, and your writing?
What with my writing?
Yeah, your writing. How do you write a song and like?
I don't know. To be fair, like a lot of the time, again, I was very, very much like used to people sending me beats at first.
Selling you beats?
Yeah, sending me beats. So I would just, for example, like my producer would send me a pack of beats and I would just use that beat. And then we kind of would just form the song from there. But then I feel like as of late, I've kind of changed it now. I've kind of took a little direction of my own and wanted to actually produce a little bit. But when it comes to like melodies, I'm just loud. I'll just play the beat literally full blast, and whatever comes out of my mouth is whatever it is. Put my phone on just wherever it is on the table.
Voice notes.
Yeah, literally, I just work on voice notes. But again, that's just my formula. That's been my formula for years. And I've tried different ways of actually trying to be creative, but I guess that's just been my go-to ever since I've like started, really. So yeah.
Sangi, what about producing? Like, it's so hard with the rise of the amount of people wanting to be a producer and be a top producer. But how do you make a hit of a beat?
Aside from doing things that's like literally looking at what's current, I think past a certain point, to be honest, in my experience, I mean, I know tunes that went number 1, number 2, not ones that I've made, I'm saying, but I know the story behind those songs, and it wasn't yet. We sat down and we done this and we done that, you know, and we wanted this to happen and we wanted that. Man just made the tunes, and then that was the one that went out, and that was the one that blew up. I've made tunes that I thought, yeah, this one's going to be the one, and it wasn't, and then one of them was, and then it was like, oh, that one, all right. It's like the same when you go into a session and you're there like, yeah, I've got this, and this, and then you play through the beats, and someone's just sat there like, yeah, cool, and then you play something that you thought was rubbish, and someone goes, yeah, this one, and you're just like, all right, okay. I mean, to be honest, like, I think personally, past a certain point, there's only so much you can do. It seems to definitely be a thing, though. I go into a lot of sessions, or when I'm speaking to people's managers or A&Rs, the main thing at the moment seems to be, we want one for TikTok. What can you put a sample in it? Can you put a sample in it? We want one for TikTok. And it's just kind of like, yeah, we can, but that doesn't mean your song's going to be sick. Do you know what I mean? It just means you've got a sample in it that people know. Like, it depends. It can go either way. So I would say that. And then also, I mean, if you want to be real, if you really want to see success, and I don't mean like, you know, you're doing well as an independent artist, I'm talking like if you really, really want to be successful, the kids have to like it. If the kids don't like it, I mean, if you're not for real though, because if you go to a gig or you go to whatever, or you like, it's not people my age that are gonna come and buy your merch, buy this, buy that, go to your show, do this, do that. The kids have to like it. Like, so my barometer of anything really, I send it to my little cousin who's just finished school. She's 16, and I say, what do you think? And if she likes it, then I think maybe this one, innit? But like, that's an important thing to consider, because a lot of the time you could be making stuff that you think's amazing, but if it doesn't hit with the kids, it's like, I don't know. I suppose that's if you really, really, really are trying to see some kind of mainstream success, though. If you're more of a kind of artist or somebody who does music who's really just interested in doing it because you love it, I don't think those kind of things really come into consideration, to be honest. I think you just do what you like doing. But yeah, again, just being smart about how you do things, I suppose.
Definitely. What's one thing that each of you didn't know about the music industry before you started, but you wish someone had told you?
I would say that a lot of things are orchestrated, I would say. Like, we'd look at an artist and we'd think, oh my gosh, they've got 1 million views or they've got 2 million views, and you think, wow, that's amazing. They've just put this song out and it's just blown up. But it's not always the case. Sometimes there's a label behind them and they're pumping into like Google advert, like so advertising and stuff like that. It's not as simple as it seems. So I feel like I just don't go into it a bit naive and thinking, you know, like, this is how it's going to happen, because there's so many technicalities like behind closed doors. Like, even a campaign, just to have a single alone, like the amount of stuff you actually have to do, PR, pluggers, like you know, when it comes to artwork, the materials for videos, just absolutely everything, like rollout all together, like making sure everything is on time, and it all adds to the one campaign. So I feel like all that I didn't know, and I wish I did. So I was like, whoa. But yeah, I feel like, you know, once you're in it, you'll get to learn the business and you'll get to learn how it works and how the machine works.
I wish someone told me you don't really make money from music. Like the actual music itself. Like, I'm not saying you can like put out music and it just does great on it through like a little tune core or a little, what's it, Distro Kid? Or,
Disc
yeah,
jockey.
you could put out a song on there and then it just blow up and then you get bare money. And it's like, nah, that's nice. But it's just not as likely to happen, you know what I mean? Most of the songs that do well or even chart, they're already signed or like they're in a, I don't know, distribution deal where the rollout was just really good and then they, yeah, like you mainly get money from like, you know, live shows and like brand deals and stuff like that. Me personally, I'm a performing artist. I like to perform. So I do a lot of shows within the year and that's where I get most of my money from. If it's not you signing the deal then and you're getting that advancement, that's where you get your money from. But streaming wise, like they do shag us a bit, but it's just like you've got to have everything else sorted as well to know that you're gonna have a steady income as well. I wish I knew that. I would have reconsidered. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have reconsidered, but like you'd think about stuff differently, 100%, if you knew that off the bat. So yeah.
Wait, what's the question again?
What's one thing that you wish you knew about the music industry that someone should have told you?
Do you know what? I actually wish someone told me it's a massive sacrifice. Like, if I'm being generally serious, like this year alone, I found it, if I'm being honest, I've actually found it a lot harder than usual, like, because of the fact that I'm not seeing my friends as often, I'm not seeing my family as often, I'm in the studio, like, all the time. And sometimes it actually really does get tedious and really, really boring. And sometimes I just want to just chill. But again, I'm a stresshead. I love music too much, so it's like I'm fighting with myself, and it's cool, but it's like sometimes I just need to chill. And I guess for everyone, it's realizing, I don't know, for everyone, music's music, innit? But at the end of the day, for some people, it's their lives. It's literally just their bread. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, for some people it's like, oh, it's the end all and be all, and for some people it isn't. And that's perfectly fine. You know, music's the field to just have fun, do whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I guess it's like, yeah, that's just one of my like biggest lessons I've learned so far. It's just a mad sacrifice, but I love it though.
I would say that there's probably some good things and some bad things. I would say the good thing is, this isn't through my own personal experience, but through lots of other people that I know, you don't have to be a superstar to make money and be able to eat off music. You just have to be smart with what you do. So I know a lot of people who maybe, if you look on their YouTube, you would think, oh, they're not hitting mad crazy numbers, but every song is consistent, or the streaming's consistent. They build, I mean, there's the thing that people say, like, if you get 1,000 core fans, you can eat forever. Like, everything you put out, they're going to buy, even if it's only 1,000 people. If you throw a CD out that's a tenner and you know 1,000 people are going to buy it, that's 10 grand, isn't it? So I think that's obviously a very specific example, but just the idea of if you really build a fan base, or you build something that's kind of something that people really, really buy into, you can make a living out of doing something. So you don't see it so much in, I would say, genres like maybe rap that I would do. I would say in other stuff, very in particular, for example, I've seen it in drum and bass. People love, like, the people that are part of that community who consume the music. Like, if you put a tape out on tape, if you put your songs out on tape, or you put a vinyl out, you're selling out your vinyls, you're selling out your tapes, you're selling out your t-shirts, if you've built that core fan base. And then if you look at that, that's all stuff that you've done yourself. And it's not, oh, well, the label gave me a big advance, but then, you know, I get 10% on the back end, or I get 15%. Like, you can really just do that and eat off that if that's what you want to do. And then coming off the back of that, I suppose it's possibly a negative thing, is to remember that it's a job. So sometimes that's a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes I'll be in the studio and I think, I don't want to do this. I can't be bothered today. Like, this isn't. But then I kind of think I could be doing something a lot less fulfilling that I don't enjoy doing. And then I kind of like, well, I've not really got any room to complain. And then also it's good because it motivates you. If you kind of sat around thinking, oh yeah, I got a few releases this month, decent, you're kind of like, well, why am I just sat in bed watching telly? Like, let's go do something, let's make some more. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, it can motivate you in that way to think about it as it's a job, rather than like just, oh yeah, I love doing it and it's great, cool. But like, if you're going to put all your time and effort into it, it's important to treat it as you would with any other profession, personally anyway.
That's great. Okay, me?
I feel like everyone said the things that I was thinking. But yeah, maybe that you don't fully switch off. I've never switched off. I'm always thinking about if it's something creative or just something that I should be doing, or, oh my God, I should do this, and what am I going to post tomorrow, and something. I'm just always thinking about the next thing, and maybe that's just my personality, but like, I do find it hard to switch off. Also, a lot of my friends that are in the creative business, that's why I've made more friends in the creative business that understand, because they don't see my job as a real job. They're like, you're unemployed or you don't do anything. That annoys me, because I'm like,
have people actually said that to
no,
you?
all
Like
the time,
your friends?
and they're all, like, not really friends. It's like
people you know.
Yeah, people that I know. Like, oh, you don't have a job. They always say like, oh, you just have fun all day. Like, you're just in the studio. And as much as it's really fun, but like, it can be draining. Like, it's tiring, and it is a job. As much as it is fun, but like, lots of jobs can be like fun in areas and stressful. But yeah, I just feel like it's annoying that some people don't take you seriously when they're not in it, or they don't quite understand. But my mum always reminds me that I have a great life and I should be appreciative, because I am. But you know, sometimes you can get a bit overwhelmed. But yeah, I don't know if that answered the question.
No, that was some great insight to you as well. I feel like we can open it up. I don't know how we're doing for time. We might be able to take a few questions for the panel. Oh, your hand's already up. You might have to stand up and shout. Yeah, stand up. Come on, girl.
I need it actually because I've been sitting up.
Yeah. Stretch the legs.
So I've got a question actually as an independent artist.
Might have to shout a little bit.
You mentioned that you don't have a manager. And when it comes to marketing, I feel like that's where I struggle the most. I feel like when it comes to marketing, obviously you have paid social, you have your playlistings and all those sort of things. How do you get your foot into finding the right marketing agencies? Because in my mind, I'm thinking all the marketing agencies, they're only affiliated with their labels and they're only working with label artists. But if you're independent, where do you find your marketing to then market? Like, you just had your song, music video for it, and you had like 100K streams and it's doing well and stuff like that. How do you market yourself to get there without a manager?
So basically, for me personally, like, I've managed to work and be able to reinvest. So for me personally, I've had to invest in PR and pluggers and stuff like that. And then what I do is I study like the algorithm and study social media, and then I'll say, okay, this time is best to post here, and it's best to do this at this time, what trend's in, I do that trend, and so forth, and then I get my results, really. And also making sure that when it comes to like prime time presenters and radio stations and stuff like that, I make sure that my stuff is played then, do you know what I mean? And make sure that it gets enough exposure. And I feel like the rest just comes, really. So that's how I've kind of done it, to be fair. Yeah.
Just to go off the back of what you said as well, I know the question wasn't for me and it's slightly divulging from the topic, but just what you said in terms of working and investing in yourself, I feel like in music there's a kind of stigma around people like wanting to say that you have a job or you work. One thing I would definitely say is don't let anybody ever shame you into thinking that, oh, like, you know, I've got to do, like, oh, what, you work on the side, you have a job, because the majority of things you see, it's all smoke and mirrors. Like, if you go on Instagram and you see someone like, oh, my man's got bare money, my man's got big chains, my man's got nobody, like, an amazing amount of people that you wouldn't even believe that you didn't get that money off music. You didn't make that money off music. That money's not come off your music. You're not a superstar. Like, having a job and having the capital to reinvest in yourself is probably one of the most important things I would say at like ground level that people forget. People think it's just kind of like, oh, you know, everything happens overnight and then boom, you've got loads of money. It's like, nah, bro. Like, you have to go to your 9 to 5 to get money to do what you want to do, to pay for your studio, to pay for your time, to pay for your beats, to pay for everything. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, I respect people more, like, when you hear that. So it's kind of like...
Definitely. Anyone else? See you over there.
This is a question for all of you. As an artist, my name's Anthony, I'm 17. I like to see everyone's perception of music. And I do want to say, what does music mean to you in one word and why?
Great question.
Like I said before, music for me is therapy. And I feel like if it wasn't therapy, I wouldn't be in it, to be totally honest, because it comes with a lot. And like someone said in the panel, I can't remember, I think it was you, KSR, that said, like not being able to be with family and stuff like that, and having two extremes, because you could have something going on with your family and then you're in front of thousands of people, and do you know what I mean? It comes with so much, and like you said, you don't switch off. You're on tick 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 all times of the day and night, and it's like, yeah, for me personally, if it wasn't therapy and I wasn't able to use that my art as therapy and kind of try and inspire other people and let people know that no matter your circumstance, no matter your surroundings, you can get where you need to be. I feel like if I didn't have that thought in my head, then I wouldn't do music. So for me, it's like that therapy aspect. And also, like getting my family into a better position. I feel like I've been so low to the point where I know where I don't want to go again. Do you know what I mean? So for me personally, that's what drives me, basically.
I feel like personally, my word would be expression. Just purely due to the fact that I used to dance professionally as well. That was my job before music. And outside of it being my profession, like, it was my way of literally expressing. Like, I didn't like speaking at all. So, like, me dancing through the music, like, it was a way of me to emote, like, just through, I don't know, something physical. So now that I've, transitioned into my artistry more, I'm now expressing how I feel, but, like, through my words. And, I used to find it hard. So, like, it's become easier as I'm making more music, you know what I mean? So it's definitely just a form of expression for me.
I'd just say, like, love. Just because, like, when you listen, there's so many songs that just make me feel, like, loved, or just, like, take me back to a place. Like, just, when you fall in love with a song, you feel like crying because it's so good. Like, I just love that feeling, and going back to that song and just being like, this has just helped me through my day or something, or just like made me feel a type of way. And I feel like that's why I make music, obviously for myself, but for other people to connect with and like feel loved and feel, I don't know, like a warm hug or something. So yeah, to feel the love, yeah. And I always write about love as well, because it's cute.
I'd say it's my story. More time, I'm a very quiet individual person, and again, if I was being very, very, very honest, like if there was no social media or anything like that, I generally would just want to just release music, just because of the fact that I just love telling my own story, trying to tell yours. Like, again, you know who I'm talking to. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell our story. So it's like, it's very, very hard when sometimes it's like you have social media, because it's like an added, like something, it's just like an added kind of pressure on actual artists. So sometimes we just want to release music, do you know what I mean? But yeah, again, I guess it's just that thing. It's just my story, really. I just enjoy telling my own story about life, what I've learned, what I've lost, what I've loved, and all those other things. So yeah.
I would, probably the same thing that everyone else has said, and also to elaborate on that for me personally, probably, it's like, I wouldn't say it was an outlet for me, because I don't kind of sit there all day and go, at the end of the day, I'm going to go home and I'm going to make a beat because I'm really angry, or I'm going to go and do this session because I'm really sad. It's more kind of like, that's cool, like, because that's how that does work as an outlet for some people. But for me, it's more just like, I don't know, like, it's just kind of what I do. I don't know how else to describe it, really, but it's part of, like, the everyday part of whatever, because it's been a part of my life for so long. Even when I was a kid, I didn't even start doing music probably till I was, like, 19, 18. Before that, I always just listened to music. I used to love music, all kinds of music. Used to go to clubs, used to go to raves, used to go to house parties, whatever. We just used to share music, send each other music. It's always just been part of my life. So for me, it's always just... and it just kind of has always been there and always will be there in some capacity, I suppose, yeah.
We've got time for one more question. Oh, God. How am I supposed to pick? Who wants to someone pick?
social media. I just wanted to ask, how do you do that? Like, people need to know who you are before they connect with you with your TikTok. Like, and what tips would you suggest getting started with that?
I mean, I feel like that anxiety comes around stigma. It comes around the stigma of social media and also the stigma of TikTok itself. I feel like when it's mentioned, for some reason, people are like, TikTok, like, man, why are you in when you know that's a form of, it's one of the biggest, kind of engines for music right now. You can't because you want to do music. The hell, like just get on with it, kind of thing. Not to be like F your anxiety. No, it's not that. In terms of like relating it back to you, what I did was accidentally I picked up TikTok one day. My manager was nagging me like, get TikTok, and I was like, what are you talking about, man? I don't want to do that. Get TikTok, you have to. And I was like, okay, I'm not even releasing music right now, so what can I do? Pick it up. Say something that's on your mind, and then it eventually started going viral. Or like I'm quite a funny person. I like to do funny stuff. Do something funny. Pick up your phone. Do something. People get to know your personality bit by bit. You may like reading, so you might just want to read to them. And some people, you'd be surprised at how many avenues you can actually go in. And people really, some guy cleans pools on TikTok. He literally cleans like stuff, and people are like, wow, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can do whatever you like. It's definitely about you, and I think people forget that. They look at everyone else and they're like, oh, how's this person doing? And how's that person? Whatever you like to do. If you like to sit at home and do nothing, do that. Set up your phone and do that. You'll be surprised at how many people want to watch you. Like, I say just do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got anxiety too, but like, you wouldn't even know with like, the amount of followers and whatever, but that's how I like to show myself. You know what I mean? I may not be like that all the time, but like, I'm quite giddy and stuff. So if I want to capture that, and like, I feel like I'm allowing people into my life, when I'm doing that. I'm like, cool, you can have this side, you can have that side. They don't have every side of you, so you can keep that, and like, as far as your anxiety takes you, have that, you know what I mean? Have that, and if it takes you a bit too far, reel it back in. This is how much I'm going to show, or this is what I'm going to try out. But try different things that you like, and just, document it and put it out there. Don't think that it has to be anything specific,
100%. Thank you guys for joining us on this amazing panel. And just another round of applause for Akemi Fox, Lady Ice, Drea Mack, KSR, and Sangu. And I'm sure if you have any other questions, they'll probably be able to answer after. Thank you, guys.
Oi. Microphone, please. Come on. We don't know where Nikki is, but she's no. Relax. Oi, take a seat. Manny, come on.
I'm going to sit here with you.
Manny. Right. Mubarak, can you run upstairs and get Nikki, please? But you're going to have to actually run, sprint. Yeah, but double. We want double trouble. Okay. So, nice one, Nikki. We're very, very pleased that you're here. Come on, clap for this one. Yes. Give her a hand, someone. She's got skills. Okay. Grab a mic. Everybody grab a mic. Test it. No. Test. 1, 2.
1, 2.
Thank you.
Try the other one.
Grab the other one. Respect. Okay. So, let's start here. What'd you get out of today? What did you get out of it? You got a lot, right? Let's repeat that. I learned that I need to get shit done, she said. Get it? Okay. What did you learn out of today? Yeah, you. Yeah. Yeah. We call that one the mountain climber, you know. Someone's always, I see the thing at the top, it's a flag, and people are like, no. Get to base camp 1, yeah? Bring some mates with you, then get to base camp 2. Then maybe you'll stand a chance of getting to base camp 17 and then reaching the flag. So, this event, I know we made it look very, very smooth, but the organisation, as you can imagine, that goes into putting over 30 speakers onto a stage, a lot of that is down to the 2 people that are sat towards my left. So I need you to properly yell. Come on. Manchester, come on. Manchester, come on. Manchester, come on. Come on. So, Nicola Osai is there. Andrea Yule is here. Okay? And a lot of the time, and I'll be real with this, because I'm a bloke, people will go, yeah, Kwame seminar. And I'm like, fuck off. Honestly, they don't understand. I get calls from Nikki at some time in the morning that is illegal. And it's literally chasing me down to make sure that I've done X. I get another call from Andrea. Sometimes they call at the same time, right? My phone's blowing up, and each one is going, why didn't you pick up? Like that, okay? That's just one morning. That's one morning. There are many, many nights that happen, times there's a lot of laughter, a lot of crying, a lot of shouting, a lot of everything. Honestly, I can't tell you the stuff that goes into it. It's a lot. But we do it because we give a shit at the end of the day. We do it because we give a shit. And also the amount that we get back from it, you won't believe it. I know it sounds mad because you got a lot of stuff today for free, right? But that gives us actually a lot of joy. Like, we'll be on the cloud for weeks, and your fuel will have put us there. Because it's like all the messages that go out afterwards, I'm getting emotional now, but all the messages that go out, all the social media stuff that people post, saying about what they've learned, tagging, all of that kind of stuff, we get to show it to labels and to sometimes organisations that are just like, no, we're not sponsoring you. And we're like, look at this. And they're like, oh, sorry. We're like, no, look at this. And they're like, sorry. How many people turned up at 9 a.m. in the morning? And we're like, mate, what do you want to do? Do you want to be on the train, or do you want to be at the station left while it goes? What do you want to do? So I'm very, very proud. I'm proud, definitely, of Nikki sat here. I'm proud of Andrea sat here. I'm proud of the team as well that have built up. You've got, honestly, you've got Mubarak, you've got so many people, you know. Listen, Molly Knock. Some of these people are people that actually were in the audience or just called up and were like, we want to be part of it. And then literally one person dropped out and we were able to get them involved and. So there's all of that. I'm going to shut up now. It's getting a bit emotional. So go ahead, the Dobber.
Testing? Yeah, testing, okay. So, I mean, I love talking, as you all know, but I'm going to keep this as short as I can. The one thing I'm going to say is that, and sorry, Andrew, I'm stealing your words here, is that we have felt very connected with you guys. Sorry.
Thanks for welcoming us.
Yeah. I was stealing her words.
We were going to say the same thing. Is mine working? Yeah. Just felt like you all welcomed us. None of you really knew what we were about, what you were going to expect today, but, you know, you've been here all day. And just, I think, give yourselves a round of applause for that.
The main thing is that also the people that have come here today to speak on the panel, they come upstairs to the green room and they have been overwhelmed and so happy to have come here to speak to you all. And also we had the one-to-one today. So so what I'm trying to say here is that, for example, we had people saying they're going to come and give 3 one-to-ones, just, 20 times 3. 20 minutes times 3, so 3 people they're going to come, which we, fair enough, understand. And everyone stayed, and they did the one-to-ones up to 4 p.m. They're supposed to stop at 3, stop at 1, and they stayed. And that's because of what they felt they received here from you guys. So that makes our job even easier to want to come back again, because it proves that we're proving that it's needed here. And they will go back and they'll tell their companies, they'll tell their co-colleagues, guys, you need to get on this. You need to come and support. You need to, do what you've got to do. You know what I mean? So I sort of say that is actually down to you guys. We bring them here, but we need you guys to keep them coming back. So I think I'll speak for all 3 of us. Just want to say a massive thank you for you all believing in what we're about to do and taking a chance to come to this event. And I hope and I pray that we are back here next year.
Yeah.
So
the same way we're in London every year, we want to be back here every year. So.
And the other thing is, listen, Manchester, I don't know one for you know it already. Like, I was very fortunate. I happened to be down here from I don't even know what Wednesday, right? And Tilly very nicely took me to someone's yard, and we went. The music, like the talent that I heard, you guys, you have got a lot. Like, you've got a lot. I'm not saying it to gas, nothing. You've got a lot. So our thing is, we're just here to help bring, shreds of business to your talent, so that it doesn't just, go and then so that it's like, whoa, and that's the situation. And also, really, so that you're in control of it. I know that sounds mad as well, but you know how it is. We're always taught, and we had this, I know in London we had it. It's this thing of, we're always like, looking for somebody else to whatever. Nah, man. You lot are the CEOs of your own companies. You lot are going to be the future publishing stars. You lot are going to be the future songwriters. You lot are going to be the future this, future that. And the simple truth is we'll be calling you up to say, are you coming on to, we've got a panel to do. What are you doing it? And you're going to be like, yeah, I remember coming to that. Because you know what? That's what happened back there in London. When they told us that what we were doing didn't amount to anything. Yeah? And don't think that we didn't get told that. We got told it time and time and time again, until the thing was so large, right, that basically it's just become an industry fixture that they can't all, But that was people that did that. People. Okay? So I shall shut my gob.
And, after here, Creating Vision down here, if you want to reach out to us, drop us an email, got any questions, that's how it's spelled.
Creatingvision.com. Make sure you're all on the mailing list. Very important.
I was just going to say, I don't mind. Email me, Andrea@creatingvision.com. I'm good with that.
I'm going to say email Andrea because I don't respond to emails that well. But what I was going to say is
Have you learned nothing today?
No.
Sorry.
No, what I was going to say is that we don't just do the seminar. We have got other initiatives that go on all through the year. So the one thing we are not trying to do is be a one-stop shop. We want to come here. We are, but I mean in terms of, we're a one-stop shop, but I want you to know that we do things all through the year.
Masterclasses.
Yeah.
Ultimate Circle, mentoring. A&R focus groups.
You could be at a music surgery, like if you're like me at work with my headphones on watching some reality TV show, but you could be at work watching a masterclass while you're at work in your ears. That's what we do. So
MBOL show. We got there's loads of different things. That's on Insta,
that's Instagram Live.
So there's enough.
So, yeah, it's just about, I think, continuing. We want to make relations up here. We want to make connections. We want to, really be known in Manchester and, helping everyone to move forward in their journeys, really, in their goals. So I think that's really it. I think everyone stayed here now.
You done it. And the other thing, stop, man, listen. The thing here is, as well, there's a lot of people some people would have come and they would have come and gone. There's other people that came in and they would have did 3 hours and then they were like, yeah, that's enough now. So there's people here who came here from the beginning and stayed till the end. You see now, you lot are bad men. Do you know what I mean? It's like you lot, as in, you're proper. As in, you get it. You get it. You understood it. And I know it's tough. You're going to be like, I was hungry. I couldn't go out. Yeah, damn right. Because you know what? It comes and this thing comes once and then it goes. I know people in London thought we were mad when we used to say that. No, there's no breaks. They go, what? We were like, sorry, no time. Right? You can eat later. Do you know what I mean? You all have done really, really well. Okay? From creating vision to all of you, well done, well done. Well done, you have tried. Hey.
But we have to make a move because we've got the next band coming in at 5 o'clock, so we need to clear the building. We're on a tight deadline. Thank you.
Thank you.